Welcome back, everyone, to World of Darkness. Today, we're not playing a session. We have a Q&A mixed with a review after Case 2. Today, we're missing people like we usually do, but I suppose everybody relevant is here today. Now, I decided to record this because I think it's important that we kind of bring this, we kind of keep this record because it'll be a footnote for the future to see how things change. From now on, we will be doing maybe not a Q&A, but an end of the case sort of side panel where we talk about the previous case. So case 3, case 4 will have things like this as well. So, firstly, I want everybody's thoughts about the course of Case 2 from the start up to how it ended. We'll go in order. Whoever wants to go first, go first.
I'll go first. Alright. Personally, I believe Case 2 went... Hold on, I gotta lower down that volume. Just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I think it went pretty well at the start. Because, you know, I will say we kind of had a slow start as well. I mean, obviously, it was the continuation after Case 1. You know, we had our characters grieving. We had Uncle John guiding us a good amount. I will say we did have a really bad, like, slow session, which one was that? Was that 5?
That 5 is Case 1. That was the slowest session by far. But
Oh, okay.
remember, Case 2 starts from session 8.5.
Oh,
the side
8.5?
session forward.
Alright, let me go look at them real quick and I'll tell you more. Okay, yeah. 8.5, which would be 9 and all that. Okay. So yeah, we had defeated Daniel. We interrogated him, which... It was a good thing. I mean, we got a lot of stuff out of that. The breakthrough part, you know, with 11. I have to admit, I did enjoy Daniel's character. How he felt about things, his regrets. The interactions with Alice were kind of, there too. But I mean, yeah, we definitely had some stuff happen during Case 2 that was a bit annoying on some parts, but I honestly did enjoy it. And I mean, I enjoyed the slight derail we experienced with the Vanderlands, because, you know, honestly, that was a big like curveball thrown at us. I liked it. The lore involved in it as well. And then obviously, you know, meeting the boogeyman, the big bad Joe himself, learning a little bit more about him as time went on, going through an awakening, seeing the development, and seeing, I guess, Henry's awakening too, as graphic as it was. I mean, it is pretty cool. There's also some parts about like how vows work and the consequences and you know what can happen. Also, you know, the continuation of that. Anytime Mystic brings in like a vampire, except for Daniel, they turn out to be frauds at the very end. Wiped out before they can actually do anything else. But let me think. I think 21 is my question mark. It's not bad. Honestly, everything about it is good. It's symbolic because it helps with the progression into Case 3. But, I can't complain about it. It's just, I guess we'll just say it was interesting. I'm 50-50ing. But maybe that's just the mentality of not wanting to lose or something. But, I will say, the saddest part for me in this whole thing was, honestly, Uncle John's death, and maybe second would be what happened to Alice. That was pretty fucked to experience. Who else wants to go?
Do you guys want me to go next, or do you want to go next, Hugo, or Terracochi?
Everybody out. I'll speak my mind.
Yeah. Okay, you speak your mind.
I like Case 2 was a bit... It was long. It was really long. I mean, a lot of stuff happened.
I agree on that.
Like,
yeah, I agree.
I feel like it should have been... how should I say it? A bit more split, but I think because we did the Vandalin thing, that's why it seems longer than it should be.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the Vanderbilt part, I have to admit, it was definitely longer, but I feel like we should have
No,
had a
like
little bit more, separation. Because, yeah, we're
Yeah.
always, like, united and stuff, but it
yeah,
kind of,
escalated everything.
it
It's
escalates,
like
yes,
we
but
skipped a step somewhere in between. I feel like
we skipped a lot of things.
we're missing a
We
bit of
did, okay.
foundation
I'll say
for the
this.
family.
Personally, what I kind of want in, like, case 3 is, I'd like to see more in-character discovery instead of just always focusing on the objective like we were doing. Because,
Yeah,
honestly, we could have
We should be
used
more on
that
the same
opportunity
page.
to help develop ourselves a bit more.
Yeah, but
Like,
I think we should
we're
also develop
hunters.
more as a family instead of just
the
going
family
separate.
dynamic, I agree, but I understand where Salter's coming from.
The family...
I think the biggest issue we have had, and I don't mean this as any detriment to Mystic, any crap like that, which is why he's giving us the 3 months to begin with, let's choose our own stuff, is when we don't go to the objective, it's a problem. But when
Yeah.
we go to the objective, it is a problem because we
Yeah.
are pushing too quickly.
We're speed running. That's how it feels. That's
Exactly.
why I don't like rushing into things. Like, for one, my character's a sorcerer. I shouldn't be jumping into there with you with a gun blazing kind of mentality. There's
It's
ways
brainless.
around this, but it would kind of make it a little bit boring. So I understand why, but I don't
I
know.
think we're
In
missing
character,
some scene
we
efficiency. All I'm saying.
we need
I
prep.
agree. Yeah, the scene efficiency.
Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of people have a lot of solo scenes, but
Yeah.
really doesn't like change anything.
I mean,
to be honest.
I want to
Some
see
eventually.
development. If we're gonna have a solo scene, I'd like to see a character develop, interact with unique characters or something. I mean, there's some parts for Adele in the future, I'm sure. Like, but obviously, Ron's gonna have to make the steps.
Exactly, yeah. I was like, he has. The issue is, I can't fault Mystic
I
for
don't
some of
fault
the
him.
ways. 'Cause he has created many openings for other characters because a lot of us can create our own scene, right? That's
Yeah.
important. I think Mystic is really good about giving us the open stage. And Case 2, I think, was a lot more of Mystic giving us the chance to occupy that stage. Training wheels for us
Yeah.
to go into the 3. Oh, should I say it out loud? I mean, we're all cool with that. Should I say our viewers? Yeah, might as well.
For what?
I don't even know if we said it in session before about the 3 side sessions.
It doesn't matter. That's the time skip bit. That's gonna be
Yeah,
like
exactly, time
split
skip
by month.
Because we're gonna have
It's
3
fine. They
time
can
skip
set it up.
sessions covering the break between case 3 and case 2 and case 3 technically. And we're going to be choosing a lot of these activities ourselves. I think this case versus case 1 was less hand-holding, but guiding. Because he needs us to have the ability to recognize our objective, right?
Yeah.
Spend our time as we need to get our way to that objective, but also take enough time to prepare ourselves. Basically all in one. Prep, see the scenery, see objective.
I want to say this. I do feel like we could have pushed a bit more to get certain side objectives done, but at the same time, I also think we were trying to push to get the Levice thing done finally, because to be honest, we were taking a while.
To be fair,
Variables kept throwing up.
To be fair, our own storyteller was the real one pushing us to do Levice and literally acted like he was going to kill himself if we didn't do it.
Hey, by the way, the day we promised to get the VCA done, we were so close. Until sacrilege.
So close.
We were
so
gonna
close.
do it that day too, I remember.
Yeah.
And I
And I was
remember
like-
this man's voice going hollow. It's like, ain't no way
it
this
is a
happened.
lot.
Yeah, you know what? And a big thing about Case 2, that kaiju fight was awesome. Now, here's my
Every fight
question.
was.
I actually have a genuine... Are we allowed to get to questions real quick about this?
Hold off on questions till everyone's talked about
Oh,
this.
come on.
Yeah, hold off on the questions for a bit.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
hear.
We're just talking.
Let's talk about Case. I'll give my
for-
comments at the end after everybody already went.
For the kaiju, for the battle, I really liked that. And I really enjoyed how, I'm going to be real with you guys, Carl has rebounded from
It was
potential fraud to literally bro, this man is a monster. I mean,
Sipping
suppression.
tea on a
suppression.
fucking chair, throwing
He's
all the
so-
bamboo.
He's so awesome, and I love that Ulti is still here with us. Let me tell you right
Yeah.
now, Ulti, I'm gonna be real here. This for me, I felt like this case was dominated by a lot of people's emotional ability, but for you, I'm gonna be real here. It was all feats, bro. It was
Oh, yeah.
all feats.
Every time this man took action,
Oh,
something
yes, man.
groundbreaking happens.
It
But
was
the fact that the vampires got screwed over by him moving the chairs was funny too.
it was so beautiful, and I think it's very important that it's so cool. I don't know. I just think Ulti, one more time, I'm proud of you, bro. Your
You did
RPing
good.
is getting better. You have clutched in and you have saved us so well. Like you've saved us so much.
Thank you. I will continue to improve.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Hopefully.
So
I
for the
can't wait to
most
see
part,
what you got.
I think we've heard a little bit of everybody, but we need Violet,
Violet?
and Ulti. So you guys, I want to hear you guys' perspective.
How'd you feel about the case too, Violet? You're here, right?
Just minutes, so I'll go really quickly, I guess.
Yeah, I want to hear yours too.
My opinion doesn't differ that much with like the others. I mean, I share pretty much the same like thoughts and stuff with them. I do think this was the best case for me and Carl specifically.
Yeah.
Lots of improvement there. It was a bit slow at the beginning due to like case one, but I really liked how we ended off with the fear trials. I mean, that's such a like awesome way to end it.
Yeah.
And like emotionally devastating too. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, this case had like a lot of emotions were involved in this case, which was really like from the perspective of a viewer, it was really great just to see like because first session was like us getting introduced to the world and like kind of like being in tune with our character.
Yeah. You get to
And
learn
then
about
in
the
this
family
case, you
dynamic
got
too.
to see like exactly this case, you got to see people like react to like horrific shit that happened to you, Eleanor, and like
Hey,
it's
the
pretty-
backlash of Hugo not being able to keep his vow because he actually wasn't present to stop it.
I'm bringing it up. I'm gonna bring up all your faults.
Hey, bro, I have many
I'm
faults,
just saying
but
you
so
should
do
have
you.
been dead. If God didn't save you, you would have been dead.
I know.
You know what, guys, at the very least, we didn't say Red Graves assemble.
Yeah, at the very least, I didn't rewind.
Yeah,
Ah.
none of us did. You know what?
Nah,
Me doing that
dirty.
shit. Listen, me doing that shit. Me and Eleanor doing that shit fucked us less, literally and physically, like even metaphorically, than fucking Tony announcing our existence to the wind.
Yeah, that had me.
Like, I'm gonna be real. What me and Eleanor did had less fucking than what that did to us. We're all fucked because of that.
Well, we're not really, I would say, fucked. There are definitely chances to fix this.
I mean,
to be honest, I don't think it matters too much about our, I guess you can say, correlation to vampires. I mean, at the end of the day, it really depends how you view vampires as a character. Like, yeah, we have Daniel as our shining beacon of what a vampire could be if they remain human. But Dimitri is the prime example of a vampire who's lived long enough.
And how do we? By the way, I have a question here. How do y'all think about Vincent? Because I kind of like him. He's
I
kind of
like
funny.
Vincent. I was hoping we could interact
He's not
with
dead.
him.
He's not dead.
Okay. If he's alive,
he's important.
then maybe we can talk it out with him. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I still
he
can't
kinda-
believe that
oh,
you
listen,
thought
listen.
he
Wow,
died
because
from
he
the great
is-
spirit
he
of
is,
fear.
like,
oh,
in deep sleep right now.
it ain't death or anything, bro. But
Like, we
bro,
can't wake him
it's
up.
like a dead route because we essentially just killed all his friends.
I don't think he was friends with what's his face. They were not together. He was friends
That
with
woman.
Beryl and Clementine and them.
Yeah. But who knows? They might be friends. There was definitely a closer relation to some
I
of these
don't
vamps.
think he was friends with what's his
But-
face, Lorenzo. I don't think he
I'll
was.
say
I don't
this.
think he was friends with him.
The best chance I think we have of building something with Vincent is if we at least show sincerity and maybe negotiate with this man about the painting.
I mean, no, deadass. I think that's important too. I think we need to do that as well.
Yeah.
I honestly was
Also,
trying to.
A Tremere Halai, I think, is pretty good in the near future. Because if we do have to face Dimitri, I'd like to have a little bit of some type of thaumaturgy in the background fucking this man over.
I will say, I'm not sure. I am
Also,
not
I
sure
just
how
wanted this.
Mystic.
In some technicality, a Chimera is a pretty good mentor when it comes to learning certain things.
Yeah, kind of. Their
Kinda,
fuel
yes.
source is just very different.
Yeah, but the principles are almost there. So there's definitely some leeway we can play around.
Yes, there is. No, there is. There's a lot, and I agree with
Yeah.
you. He would be great. The question is, how can we make it up to him? And I think it's very obvious what would do that.
I think we're gonna have to make a deal with him in the future. Something that benefits him.
Really?
No. I'm not talking about just the painting. I mean,
No, I get you.
I think we're gonna have to help this man gain power if we want him as an ally. And to him to cover stuff up for us, it's definitely gonna cost us a little bit. But the benefits are gonna outweigh the costs. That's
No, especially with him working in
especially a
Magadon
Chantry
Trust.
member. Yeah.
No. More importantly, he's part of Magadon Trust.
Yeah.
Which means we can get some pretty wow, we're really saying our session plans out here. I mean, I might as well just say it.
It doesn't matter.
From
It's
a
not gonna have
meta
anything.
point of view, having an ally in the financial arm of Pentex
That would
is
help.
an insanely good ally. Plus, us having Ulrich as a possible business partner for Endron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with the
And-
worm as we know from the meta, at least. I mean, we don't know in character, but with the worm a bit calmer right now, Pentex would be a gold mine and plus with Magadon being, down with Charon right now, there is a lot we can use that they have. I don't believe they would have given up on the Odyssey project at this point. I'm not sure what Mystic has changed, but if we can access like Magadon files or just like a little bit more insider info, we'll all get a lot out of it. I'm gonna be real with you.
Another factor is I think we should
guys, why don't we just
possibly
buy Magadon?
We can't. No, you can't buy. Okay.
No,
okay.
definitely not happening.
No. Remember, Magadon has already been dissolved at this point in time.
Yeah.
So Magadon is dissolved. The subsidiaries still exist. Mystic hasn't told us what subsidiaries still exist. I'm guessing I'm not even sure if Mystic. Wait, did you take the original Project Twilight into account on this? So like Siren Cosmetics and what's it called? Pygmalion, whatever the fuck it is, like the two cosmetic brands, they've both been like taken out due to Project
The
Twilight.
cosmetic brands are not like literal subsidiaries of Magadon. These are, generally speaking, Pentex affiliated subsidiaries. There's a reason why they're separate companies in the first place. So their operations are done and they report up to the Magadon board of directors. Or they used to at least. Now, Magadon is a very big enterprise. It would be inaccurate to say that it is completely dissolved. It is in the process of going through these scandals. And as you can see from like real world scandals, this stuff is like years worth of court trials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are trying to get a piece of Magadon's money. Because think about it, right? Everybody and their mother is going to think, well, I need to think, okay, I've used their products before, I've used their services before, how much money can I drain out of them? So they're being used as the sort of sacrificial lamb that everybody is taking a bite out of, not realizing that the real important assets out of Magadon are obviously being taken out. Now, on the spectrum of it being a company, there are direct companies related to the Magadon group, and one of these happens to be Magadon Trust. Because it is a bank, it is very, very hard for it to take the same sort of collapse as the main company. Not only because it is a subsidiary, but also because it is a bank. Banks are not very easy to close if they haven't gone bankrupt. And there's been a lot of suspicious dealings when it comes to assets and things like that have been shifting around. You saw Carl's character get a glimpse of that at his previous workplace, Kingston International. The problem with a bunch of banks is you cannot have a big bank without that big bank being connected to other banks. That's how the banking industry works to some extent. So they're essentially bailing each other out, hiding, because banks loan money from each other.
And let's be honest. If they actually ever needed money, Endron can just do its number one strat, right? Let's be honest here. Because the thing is, from a meta perspective, if there's one thing that Magadon cannot, would have to buy time for, just so you know this as well, Salter, so everyone does,
Yeah.
Project Odyssey was under Magadon, kind of. It's because the genetic information used through the files of Magadon's online and process of secretly researching kinfolk, Garu, and the like too was
Well, of
used in
course, yeah, but you
Odyssey.
got to remember that that's not on official papers. That's for
Well, no, no,
Pentex
no.
to know, right?
No, I
Obviously.
know, I get you, but I was just saying in terms of, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, how about but you know what I mean? Like the Magadon net, the one that was like the insane genetic structure, like online system they made that was going to be rolled out publicly. I'm sure that they're
That
very
web
desperately.
was destroyed long before the company was destroyed.
Okay, yeah. All
That's
right, but I was
because
going
the
to,
World Wide Web took a massive hit on a White Monday, which
yeah.
I suppose I shouldn't be mentioning now since you don't know anything about that. So I'll keep my mouth shut on that. But for now,
Gotcha.
just know that the White Monday incident extended um, all the way even to those digital networks connected. That was the reason why they had to go analog and actually manually start selling assets, because the liquid assets obviously are too eye-catching. So when it comes to company stocks and things like that, it was very difficult to gauge. The virtual adepts, of course, can tell you all they want about the world, the worldwide digital web going down and stuff like that. But just know that the White Monday incident has affected even the likes of Pentex. And it's not
Mm,
just them, because there are Chronicles of Darkness organizations in this world. Specifically, I'm talking about Kron. A
yeah,
lot of things that Pentex had their fingers in have been kind of taken over by Kron as well, at least when it comes to the medical field and their side of things. So
yeah,
Pentex has been smart. Instead of going after these medical institutions, it's far easier to send their agents into Kron and then just corrupt what they're doing instead of
yeah.
trying to fight them as a company,
Because
basically.
Karen has nothing against Banes and
It's not that
Fomori.
they have nothing against Banes. They do, because Kron, despite the fact that they do terrible things, are still technically a good aligned company. They're not like the evil corporate tyrants that Pentex kind of is meant to be.
Yeah,
They
no.
still have good foundations, and while they do sus things in the background, for the most part, Kron is a very positive group. Because of
Mm,
that, it kind of works against Pentex, and it's difficult to fight against Kron because Kron has been around longer than Pentex itself. Pentex only
mm,
became really powerful towards the middling of the 20th century. That's when they started becoming global supergiants.
yeah.
But Kron is an ancient organization. Long before it was the company it is today, it has roots that are way further than Pentex. Because Pentex roots only became a thing in the 1800s, generally speaking. The Wild West era and things like that is where they grew, and they could capitalize on that just from a meta perspective. But if we just look at it from where we stand right now, Pentex is the sort of runner-up. They
Mhm.
aren't the old ancient monsters that they usually are in the werewolf games. The werewolves will see them that way. Kron has been around for a lot longer, and they've grown and spread their roots into a lot of places. Because of this, the Kron group, while not as powerful as Pentex in terms of, their task forces and stuff like that, just as a company and in their
But
technology,
yeah, but
is
also
very
they're
much multiple steps ahead of Pentex.
yeah, but more importantly, they aren't as, let's be honest, as you said yourself, evil as Pentex. So their activity is a lot less obvious and a lot less
For the
and a
most
lot
part, yeah.
yeah, because they don't do what Pent. Okay, like I know what you mean, because like the difference is like Charon might skim a few stem cells off of like a woman like who's giving birth if she's like a kinfolk or if they think that she has a werewolf pup, right? Like I'm saying like that. Versus Pentex, who when they need kinfolk cells will send a like literal rapists into female like into female wards of hospitals to perform terrible acts.
That's a pretty good example, actually. You're right in some regards that Kron would not be as nearly anywhere as harsh, because Kron's goal is to learn, whereas Pentex's goal is to corrupt. Because of their difference in primary interests, kind of shows in the way that their activities
Oh
unfold.
yeah, but still, I forgot.
Now,
Yeah.
the funny part is, I guess the biggest major difference that you can tell is that the big pharma, the pharmaceutical companies that are part of the American government. The reason why medicine is so expensive and all this other stuff in America, they aren't actually poisoning the population as much because big pharma, for the most part, is more in the hands of Chiron rather than Pentex. This kind of
Yeah.
shows the difference. But because of this, Pentex's influence in the food industry is greater than it used to be in the normal metaplot canon
Yeah.
because they realized, okay, we can't go after the medicines, so instead let's go after the food. The medicines can't do shit if the food you ingest is absolute dog shit.
So they've somehow so they've managed to. That's really strange because I thought because the I mean that's interesting. Well, before we get back to everyone else because it's important here though, I will say I'm very interested in that because the FDA was Magadon's biggest fucking op. Like literally, it was for some reason Pentex wasn't able to infiltrate the FDA, which I was always curious about that because they never really explained it in the meta plot why that was.
It's more of a thing when you look at the government basis. So if you just check like Project Twilight and stuff, it's because the FDA were placed by corrupt people. Remember, the FDA, right? The whole institutionalized kind of movement for checking the quality of products only came into the American system because of mafia. I'm talking here about Pablo Escobar, of course,
Mhm.
who, in his famous case, spent billions of dollars investing in quality checking and companies that do quality checks because of what happened to his niece, if you remember.
Yeah,
So
she
because of that, this whole organization was made by corrupt money. So this was not as easy for
corrupt money.
Pentex to infiltrate because it's been part of the system for a while,
Yeah,
already.
and the government has a surprising amount of kinfolk in it, which I've always thought was kind of crazy.
The government is a lot stronger here because Hunter influences because of the presence of groups like Chiron and a few other Hunter
Valkyrie
organizations.
and Valkyrie.
Like, yes, I'm talking here about Task Force X and Valkyrie. The governments have a greater grip on the things that they're supposed to have a grip on. Now,
Mhm.
granted, it's not nearly as much as the supernaturals, obviously, but it's very much become harder for
Mhm.
vampires and Pentex affiliates to infiltrate these groups. So instead, they've been fighting in different ways. So the development has changed
Mhm.
to fit
Okay.
and kind of make this power struggle into something else. So Pentex has dominated the food industry, whereas Chiron has been dominating the pharmaceutical industry, and then the government has been keeping tight rein on government affiliated offices. They
All
do
right.
get infiltrated. Any big corporation will get
Mhm.
infiltrated, but they've been able to keep that in check in comparison to the normal meta plot.
Got you. So we're gonna get back. So real quick, appreciate that, but real fast. Do you expect to go on
Violet.
that long? Yeah, Violet and Ulti, because Ulti actually didn't fully go.
Yeah, that'll keep continuing.
Yeah, go. Continue your case too. I apologize, Ulti.
No, you're good. So, where did I leave off? My train of thought was kind of.
Brutalized and murdered. You were
I think
talking.
I
You were.
think I ended off with the fear trials.
No. You were in the
Oh my
middle of
goodness.
you talking about the Vanderlyn battle, I believe, or no, it was you talking about the awakening, I believe, for yourself.
One sec. I'm putting my brain cell to get one brain cell to get used. Okay. Um. Uh. Okay. The last thing I remember is the fear trial, so I'll just continue from there really quickly.
Okay.
Anyways, so as I said, very good ending to the case. Very emotionally brutal for us. One thing that I did really like about this case was, I think I mentioned this part already, was how like from the perspective of an observer, we were way more in tune with our characters, albeit me being later than most, but progress is progress. I also really enjoyed the what's it called? The video things we watch in session. That one was like, albeit a tiny bit boring sometimes.
It
It
could
was
be
pretty
tedious.
cool to see like the lore and perspective of like other people in the universe. So yes, that was something I liked. And what did I want to say here? The fight scenes, very aura. Nothing more to comment there. Very aura fight scenes. And let's see. I did like how the family was a bit more like connected this case. I don't know if it's because like I wasn't there fully for case 1, but I felt like more interaction within the family, like more familiar interaction in this case. Maybe because we kind of like accepted the tragedy that happened in the first case, but it was a bit wholesome to see in some moments, like when we got into the new house, when Eleanor, Adele, and all of us, Hugo, we were just talking, having a good time before we went back into the chaos that was World of Darkness. I'm low-key, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm kind of yapping right now. The last thing I wanted to end off with was...
No, you're fine.
What's it called? One sec.
When you said darkness and cut yourself off, it's like you said corn darkness, and I was like, we're in the world of corn dogs and
The
darkness.
world of corny darkness.
No, I was gonna say like
The
go back
world
to the
of
world
corn
of
and
darkness, but like, bro,
Eleanor, I think we're somewhere worse than the Adelard house. What? We're in
Where?
farm country.
No.
There's
Please
you
don't
go,
tell me there's a church.
You just hear you just hear Danish, and you turn around and you see Amish people.
Hey, don't forget,
No.
canonically, Eleanor is terrified of churches deep down. And it did not help that they got attacked in a church.
Yeah, you know what? The Amish build a church around you.
She might cry.
Yeah.
Psychological terror at its peak.
please,
Yeah, they
no.
build it like they build it like 20 seconds around you, like a fortnight.
Yep. I'll be honest, when it came to like the second session, when I was listening to myself, I realized, damn, I actually mentioned in character I was terrified of churches. Then,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, she's like, I really don't like churches. Like, I don't like being in them. Then I hear her dad say, I really fucking hate being in here. I've been in here all day. The same level of complaint, only for all of them to get fucked up in a church.
Other year. Violet. No, I'm asking about.
Val, are you here? Wakey wakey.
Yeah, I'm here.
All
I've
right.
been here.
All right, what's
Alright,
your,
it's your turn now.
impression of Case 2?
I'm just like very bad memory. What was the part of the case thing?
Case 2 is after we captured Daniel.
Oh.
So it would be like session 9?
Session 9.
This was before we interrogated Daniel, but it's essentially when we were at the hospital.
Gotcha. I say that was pretty rough.
Uh,
I like to say pretty rough. That's all I gotta say. Like the whole session was intense, but like it is interesting. I'm just really like, okay. I'm so just I had to get through this. But no, that's all I can say. It's like
But you're a bit muffled.
yeah, you're
Violet, could you say that
I
again?
agree with everything that she
Hey,
said.
Okay, Violet, could you say that again? Could you say that again without your microphone shoved down your throat? Not to be mean, but
Okay,
like
can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you now.
My mic keeps switching for no reason. I don't know what's going on.
It's
keeps
okay.
switching, so yeah. I was gonna say the whole case too. All I can say it was pretty rough. It was really intense. I was just over here dumbfounded. I'm over here like, okay, I know I understand where this is going, but like, I feel like it just feel like I'm just excited in a way, but no, it was pretty rough. Like I'm just over here watching this whole thing went down, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened?
You know,
what
it was
the
very
fuck just
great.
happened?
You did so okay. I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, all right? This is for you. I adore you when we RP together. Just please do know that. And I think you did. I think that you certainly grew from case one. You just need to keep that energy up. And more importantly, when you unlocked that fight, like that extra boss fight against the vendor.
That was no,
Was
I
there
didn't
one regret?
expect that to happen. I
we
thought
know. No.
Everyone
Violet,
did.
we're saying it was awesome.
okay. 'Cause,
No
like,
one died.
it's-
In fact, you got us so much
No one
cooler
died.
shit. Like, no one. You know what else? We genuinely, because of what you did, made them realize we weren't shit. Like, I hope you realize you inadvertently really did fucking help us. Like, come on, girl. Don't beat yourself up over that. That was dead ass the craziest thing, and we need more of that. We need more of Adele going like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I don't even care. I'm gonna do
just put your life at risk. I'm like, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm just doing.
like, it was good. It was so good. It just reminded me of like, you know what? You guys have been like, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck y'all. I'm touching this weird ass heart. I'm doing it. Fuck off. I have.
I just,
It was so great.
More of that. More of that.
Uncle John,
no,
the
honestly,
master
I
of
just
rage
did not
baiting.
expect that because.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness! Like,
No one
as soon
could have
as
expected that.
I was in character, might I add. I was in full on character. I didn't even think twice for that. I was in
Okay.
character, so I went full on winning.
All right. Okay. I want you to realize there is no way anyone could have predicted that. Okay. So don't, like, seriously. All of your visions had been like just you in person. There is no fucking way you would have realized oh yes, I remember when Mystic told me if I touch fucking hearts, apparently I suck us back in time, awaken as a mage, and begin converging time. Yeah, Violet, there's no way you would have fucking known that. Who the fuck would have? Besides Mystic. Like, don't be like, okay, could you imagine if we found his heart later while I was just like, digging around in that shit? Like, I would have been like, there's a heart here that isn't his, and you know what? Like, okay, so imagine if we had found that heart and you had done that later when we didn't have Uncle John. You did the best. Like, see, there's positives here.
Yeah, that is true.
And yes, like, a lot of shit happened. I enjoyed it. We had some good time. You know what? We stole Lavatine. We gave Julius the biggest crash out, and we had fun. It was great. It was a great introduction to a lot of people. It let Mystic show off characters he wanted to. You and the Levisier. What did you think of the Levisier?
The Levisier.
The gallery.
Art gallery that
The gallery.
The gallery where you saw a picture and was like.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know if I was. I didn't want it to bust your guys' eardrums, but I was literally full on going in like that. Like, yes, it was really, it was really interesting. Like, I was so nervous as hell because I was like, oh shit, here comes my part.
Yeah. You took initiative, though. You ran in high heels, bitch.
I know, like, girl. I know she ain't the kind of girl who wear high heels, but she running. She running.
I told you, it's so funny. I still can't get over that mental image of Alice going like, "Oh, Adele, I'm here." I'm saying, "Get the fuck out of my way! I'm a main character for once. Fuck you, Alice. I'm gonna live. I want to
live." But it is the moment for her to awaken her major, like awaken her in a way. Yes.
It was.
The whole thing was so funny to me. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's good. No, listen. I think that we all can agree that was a great scene for you getting in there. We just want to see more. At least I want to see more of you taking that emotion, because you remember that one time where you began freaking the fuck out on us, like in calm, started laughing. That was like the most alive you seemed when you were like yelling around like that, and you're like, "Fuck you guys, fuck you," and I was like, that was the energy, that sheer emotional outburst that I think Adele needs, where at some point she's like, you know what I mean, like she's gonna be talking to Hugo, talking to Eleanor, And then she hears a comment about like her sister or something. Just puts down her coffee pipe, her little mug of coffee or tea, and she goes, "Fuck you guys!" Just straight up, just eat a bag of dicks, and then just goes right back to just drinking her tea. Just I don't know. She's been through a lot, and we've seen her just sad. There has to be a breaking point where she essentially decides, like, so my sister is gone, my brothers are gone, my dad is dead, and Uncle John, who actually helped us and who I came to like, you sold his fucking head after you were fine with letting my sister go, Hugo. You're a piece of shit. Like, dead ass.
No, it's funny because like we were thinking about that. The Verzal was like the perfect moment for her to like actually have a mental breakdown because of the dessert, and all her memories come flushing in right in there.
That would have been wild. Where Mystic is like, roll for initiative. You are now fighting fucking period Adele.
No, literally, I was talking with him, and we were like, yeah, if we wanted to get Adele having a full mental breakdown, let's just do this. Having her memory of her memories of her family that literally like died that she had to witness.
But
she had to witness Alice getting kidnapped. I don't know if she's still alive or not. Probably not. Her father died in the most brutal way that she had to witness, and then their brothers died. So yes.
I'm gonna be real about your dad. I am so sorry about this, but Mystic, I gotta say it. The way you described his death, I was actually kind of like chuckling. Like, it was so over the top comical. I was like, bruh, like, really? Like, all these other serious deaths, and then suddenly he's like, guys, you guys want to see a fun trick?
Look at him. He
That's
spins.
crazy.
He spins.
No, you know what it reminds me of? Do you want to see me do a flip? Just flips over and bangs head on the table.
So hold on, I wanted to talk about that actually. So when it comes to Bertrand's death, you'll notice that the most graphic deaths have been the ones that have been tampered with by the boogeyman. Now remember, he doesn't actually kill. It was Bertrand who killed himself by hanging.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, just like what happened with Millard, remember, the boogeyman didn't kill Millard, but he fucked with his body after he died.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The boogeyman does. Because he makes it into a fucked up show for you in order to make you feel like utter dog shit.
Yeah.
And I of course I'm speaking very crassly here, but that is essentially what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he himself does not kill anybody. At least like this he doesn't.
Yeah.
And there's a hard line for that to be the case. He cannot appear out of a body if the body's not already dead. So the fact that he appeared out of Vincent means that Vincent was actually dead.
Oh.
But he's a vampire, so he's already dead.
Yes, but of course a vampire counts as half living.
I mean, so maybe he's still. I do hope he's still alive. I'm sure he is still in torpor. I'm sure that basically him appearing, somehow would have revived him. Who knows?
What?
I'm sure he could do that. I don't know. He can literally bring anyone back.
Vincent, whether he's alive or not, the consequences of fucking with Vincent are things that are going to be coming back.
Yeah,
obviously.
It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there anything else you guys want to talk about, or should I start the concluding my portion from the DM perspective?
Sure. Start whenever.
I actually have one last one. I actually want to say. I feel like this was personally about the DM's growth. Is that okay if I say that from my own perspective, Mystic?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I feel like you gave us a much more trusting relationship for this case, and I feel like it really did help us grow in certain ways and get a little more emotional of there. I am happy with this case. There was a lot of mistakes I made, and I could definitely say that, but I realized just the sheer amount of not really I guess I'd say potential that's come out for my character. I'm very happy with it. I'm excited for case 3, and I hope that you continue to trust us. However, I do hope that you will do, your mystic thing. And when you feel like we do need a good push, you can tell us in or out, you can tell us out of session what you would like to see from us, or maybe give us a little hint like that. Okay? Don't feel too afraid to do that, and don't think you're getting too controlling or anything. I think that you reached a really great balance with case 2. That's my personal opinion on that.
All right. Anybody else want to say something to me?
Oh yeah, and every character introduced in Case 2 has been really hot.
Maybe a little
Everyone
bit.
is pretty dripped out.
I'll say this.
You know what? You know,
I think the only thing I would like to
Balenciaga
ask is a
and,
little
like-
bit more character time. We were pushing a little bit hard on the
Yeah.
Lucia because we kind of had to, but I don't know. I think in the future I'd like to see more development on the characters than just running through the sessions like to go battle all the time.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, if someone wants to do like their own side journey, I think it'd be nice to see. Because there are definitely some
that's
places
what,
we can take
have
advantage of
3
in
months
character.
to do 3 side sessions.
No, not just in side sessions. I mean, like, if
You
in
mean
character,
like an
let's
actual-
say,
like an actual
no,
arc.
hold
You
on.
can make your own time, you know,
Hold
as
on.
well.
Let's say Tony wants to contact Bethel again or something. Like, it'd be nice to see like a scene where he talks to Bethel, if he has something planned.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's something we should request with Mystic to at least make sure
Okay,
we're all
it'll,
on board.
it'll come
with the
back to
same
this. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right,
Not a
so
bad
Mystic
thing.
closing DM statements.
Yeah.
Nobody else?
Terrakochi.
Mhm.
I give him my statement.
Yeah, I suppose
You gotta do it. You have to do it
Not given
publicly.
up, so
he glaze me
You
enough,
have,
he says.
you have to do it publicly. Come on.
Yeah, do it
Hey,
publicly, bro.
actually, yeah.
you know
Go.
what? Fine, I'll say it on the record. Mystic, you are an amazing DM. This the amount of shit you pull for this campaign, I couldn't do it even in my wildest dreams. So hats off to you. Good job playing 20 different characters
Yeah,
in
dead
the
ass.
span of 2 sessions.
That was
Um,
insane though, playing so
yeah.
many characters.
Yeah.
Like
It was good.
You can take it a bit easy with
it
the
really
character
is.
department.
It's
Just-
really
Nah,
good. Like
it's his craft. It's his craft, bro. He can't take it easy. You know, Mystic. Don't tell him ever take it easy.
Okay.
It makes him want to try harder.
It does.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's like it's like throwing
You know what?
aggro.
3 more characters. Case 3, 40 characters.
Yeah, dead ass. There's gonna be one scene where it's just 60 characters all talking while we're just there.
Someone's gonna join the VC and it's just Mystic talking to himself for an hour, bro.
Yeah, and then Terrakochi's gonna have to call. Is gonna have to call the hospital because Mystic's disassociated so bad that he's just like he actually is just lost in the sauce.
The session's gonna end and he's just gonna
It's already
keep talking to
happening.
himself.
All right.
Yeah.
You like the Fear Trials?
The Fear Trials. Oh yeah, let me give my opinion on the Fear Trials.
Oh no.
Honestly, for me, my own Fear Trial, I was pretty happy because Mystic knows me the best. He knows my deep rooted
Oh shit, we just
personality.
covered
And
that.
Hugo is a part of me, so
Yeah.
it hit a bit close to home. It did mess me up like for a week. So
Yeah.
I had to do some mental
I get it.
reshaping.
That
But
fucked with me a
hey,
bit too.
It was worth it. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Fear trial for I guess I'll say mine. So I was in the moment that I messed up, but honestly, I'm happy with the emotion I portrayed there. And the best part about all that we've learned is this is in character stuff that we can, adapt and we can grow from in character. We weren't supposed to just like immediately get this.
Mhm.
It's a lot for a character too. It makes more sense for a lot of us to need the time to address this over these 3 months, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a growing process. Like dead ass, the one person who I was like, honestly, it makes the most amount of sense for to like not succeed their trial would be. I thought Tony was honestly like probably had the most like in character reaction to his trial. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought his trial was one of the most fucked up, because it was
Yeah, it was pretty messed up.
and like I said, and like it was. I think everyone did great on their trials. I'm gonna be real with you. It was very in character for you. I think the one though that might have been the most brutal is actually Carl's.
Oh no, Carl's was
living an
horrid.
entire life.
Carl's was so
Everything.
simple. Like it was so simple in concept, but Mystic's delivery was so good. And Ulti, once again, you were incredible. Okay? That was like a shining thing for me. The way that you act normally is so perfect for that kind of scene. The nonchalantness. And in the end, it just built into this perfect coffin. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So
I
it
mean, I
was
tried my best, bro. I tried my best.
Adele. It was great. I mean, we're real. Violet, you do a great what's the right
Okay.
word? Pollyanna character. Does that make sense? Very like, if I can, I will live in the delusion of positivity character. You do
Yes.
very you do
I
very
understand.
well. Um,
Okay.
for Salter, it
Good.
was great. I do apologize, but my DMs, they did distract you at all. I do.
Oh yeah, they did.
Well, I apologize.
It's fine. It's fine. That shit threw me
I
off.
had I that's the thing too, which I apologize. So
Well, I'm
funny
guilty of the
thing
same
is,
thing. So I mean,
no. The funny part is when I got out of my scene, I realized that everyone had been sending me DMs, and I was just like, oh, I hadn't even noticed you guys at all. I was so locked into the scene. I was like, oh shit. And I do an assaulter. I am sorry.
It's
So
fine,
during your
it's fine.
scenes, no. During your scenes, I won't do that. I promise you from here on out.
oh,
Okay.
I agreed with Mystic. I wouldn't do the same thing for other people. So I'm just gonna let
Yeah.
people do their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my bad, and I do say that. I apologize.
Yeah.
You do deserve that. But I think everyone handled their fear scenes as well as they could. Now, the one thing that I think we are all entitled to is to make up the stupidest reason and the stupidest trial for Marina and why she fucking lost as punishment for Neith.
Marina won her trial.
Oh, she did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Maria
Yeah,
succeeded
that's
at
the
12.
reason the thing kind of paused for a little bit.
Okay, got you. No, I got you then. I was gonna say, dang it, that'd be really funny if we just like we could meme on Neith. Well, I guess we can't really meme on Marina. Marina at
Well,
this point, I'm gonna be real here. Neith has missed so much
I don't
that
know if
Marina.
Neith is gonna be able to come back because,
I'm
well,
saying yeah.
her promise
I'm
kind
saying.
of just went void. If you know what
I mean
mean.
yeah.
You know what's crazy, right? Marina is her character, and yet I have more screen time as Marina than her. That's kind of crazy work.
Yeah.
The worst part is, so by the way, when it comes to Marina, I like to imagine that after her reincarnation, Mystic, she returned to more of factory setting. You know what I mean? Like like you know what I mean? Like her personality reverted to much more of a primal, upfront kind of state. Which is why she's a lot more crude and why like why you jumped in and played her. I just think it like makes way more sense like in character kind of, because their personality and how the two of you play her is very similar, but the way and the little tells are very different. I don't know. That's my own personal opinion on it.
I believe the main difference comes from the fact that I play Marina as a character in the know, as a character who is
A
watching.
bitch.
No, she's a bitch regardless, whether it's me or Neith playing her.
I meant in terms like, but you play her as Marina the Vanderlyn,
Right, of course.
and Neith plays her as Marina, the curious, bitchy, unadjusted woman. You know?
I think that's a fair way to put it.
Because let's be honest here, your ability to be upfront and cold is very good. You portray a very, very owlish kind of character. But is it strange to say that Neith plays her as a bird of prey? Like, I actually think of her as, like, you know what I mean? As opposed to you, who's a much more observant owl-like character. It's this much more predatory kind of person with Neith, who is much more emotionally vulnerable in terms of like, she doesn't have a poker face. I'm sorry. When Neith plays her, there is no
Yeah.
poker face. You can trigger her easy.
Oh,
When you play her, there's much more of a it's still there though, by the way. Marina is very reactive. But when it comes to that difference, it really shows in like interaction. Like if you were playing Marina and I gave you the same insult I gave Neith, I feel like you would have had a much more measured response. You know what I mean? Versus Marina's insane, like, oh fuck you, Henry, like like
I
that
suppose
difference.
it comes down to the fact that it kind of makes sense in a way, like in a strange way, that we both play her, because it's supposed to show that sort of dichotomy, because she is rather unbalanced right now after her first actualization.
So her spirit half subsumes her human half. When Neith plays her, it's the human part kind of reacting,
Mhm.
whereas when I play her, it's more the spiritual side of things.
Yeah, that's thing. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That was my
Yeah.
observation on it. I really enjoyed the dichotomy, similar to how I enjoy Nora and Eleanor when the two of them interact, because it's the same thing to me. It's just it's Eleanor, but played by you.
Just war.
It's just very interesting. Or Cyril, I love how so many Mystic. This is the biggest compliment I can give you. I adore how well you are capable of playing our characters from this alien point of view that is still so relatable. It's such a twisted mirror that I love. Okay, that's my last of mine. Then you can talk. I apologize.
No, I appreciate the compliments. I think I think while it's nice to show those things when I can, I think probably my most masterful performance yet was the Fear Trials. Because the reason why I needed those breaks in between is because I needed that time to be able to get into the mindset of every one of your characters. Because I need to
Mhm.
play off of your fears. And you'll notice that your fears expanded beyond what you just told me. That's because I know your characters well. I've seen you develop, I've seen where you come from, I've heard what you've said. And these things accentuate your fears because it is playing on your fear, but it's also
Oh, Ez
teaching
is
you
here,
a
by the way.
lesson through your fear. You know?
Who's here?
Ez is here.
Ez.
So if you can ask if you want.
Ez, baby.
You
Oh.
made it.
Well, perfect timing. We're just about to continue. Ezzy, before we continue, your thoughts about Case 2 from a player perspective, a story perspective, and then finally a comment, to me as DM.
We just need you. Oh, he can't. Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with everything you're saying. By the way,
He can't talk right now. He's
Okay.
just checking in. He's
He's
listening
just
in.
listening in. Okay.
can we chat? Chatting on the table.
All right, it's fine.
I mean, we're about an hour
Um,
in now, so.
Yeah, don't worry. We're
Sure.
about to get to the second segment.
Yeah.
So, my feedback when it comes to from a DM perspective, let's start at the beginning of Case 2. We started Case 2 very strong because the first session of Case 2 was the side session. The first Vanderlyn reveal, the incident with Nell showing old characters again. I very much love that session. It was my favorite session up until some of the recent ones because of the fact that it was so volatile. It kind of showed off the difference between the hunters in New Orleans and the hunters in Liverpool. I think Salter and Terracocha will understand this best because you were there as well.
Yeah.
It was really an enlightening session in a way. And it began unfolding the Vanderlyn plot, which has been building since session 5. The first mention of the Vanderlyn was session 5. If you remember, Thierry Henry brought it up, and we heard tales about the Vanderlyns. And then it took 4 sessions later, give or take, for us to meet a Vanderlyn, and then it just kept unfolding. In the sessions that came after, where we had Arthur Moon, exploring with you, the first meeting and things like that. I will say, I'll bring up this point again later in my comments here, but I want you to keep in mind the difference between Arthur Moon's solo scenes and then the group scenes. That highlight I want you to remember.
Mm.
Admittedly, yes, the start of Case 2 was slow, and the reason why it was slow is because we had to wind back up into the action. If we just went action to action, it would just become an adrenaline show, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel as if another reason that it got extended so much is scene efficiency, which is a point I'll bring up later again. For now, let's focus on the story. So we had the Vanderlyn meeting. To me, that was unexpected. I will say that was the first time in the campaign where that was completely unexpected. I was caught off guard. Now, granted, I already had all the Vanderlyn characters down. I already had stuff I wanted for them. But to be put on the spot to think that, oh, this is an opportunity for me. It really did put me on the spot, and it was quite difficult for me to play all these different characters at the same time, especially for that scene. Usually, I have a bit of time. I know what's gonna happen generally because I played so long with you guys that I kind of know what kind of bullshit you guys are gonna pull, for the most part.
Mhm.
But Violet pulling
There
that.
hasn't been any real derailing moments that I couldn't have predicted, besides Violet's, because it wasn't a real derail. It was rather moving things forward. So the Vanderlyn for me were very fun. I think we all enjoyed. And much like Sai said earlier, I very much agree with Sai when it comes to Violet's performance. The reason I wanted you to keep recording Salter at that time instead of pausing is I want to be able to hear that liveliness, the live reaction to seeing these characters, the theories, that kind of thing. Very beautiful to capture in session. I believe it should be a proper in session moment.
Yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
So
the Violet
That was-
explosion.
that was beautiful.
Including me
And
crashing
Violet,
out.
this is what I'm talking
It was
about. I'll
not a
start with you
crash
because
out.
right now
That was a full-on suicide bomb.
I'll start
Yeah.
with you, Violet, because right now I think you're the weakest link. I don't mean you're a bad role player. Your emotional role playing is the best out of everybody. I don't think
Mhm.
anybody's going
Mhm.
to disagree with that.
Can't.
But rather,
Yeah.
it feels as if your presence in scenes is most of the time not very strong.
Yeah.
I think you need to be more active.
Mhm.
It's not just about the dialogue, but it's about doing actions out of your own free will.
It's
If
to
you
be more
notice,
present. It's to be.
it's to do things that you want to do. Oftentimes,
Yeah.
Violet, you'll notice that I'm the one who engages you to do something, or one of the other players does. You react to
Mhm.
us instead of acting on your own. That's why your character feels like a background character at times. Remember, you're not playing a
Mhm.
background character anymore. You are a legitimate player now.
Mhm.
So I think you should have the confidence to step forward and take hold of a scene. You don't have to be the main focus
Mhm.
of a scene. But I think so many more scenes could have been so powerful. They could have been elevated had you had a stronger presence. For example, right after the Vanderlyn fight, when we had that stuff at the cemetery, I think you having the courage to lead on would have been a very impactful scene. If you remember the graveyard after Uncle John died,
Yes.
um, you were there kind of in the background up until the flowers appeared. That was your
Mhm.
mage side having sympathy and your life sphere acting off of your emotions. I think you should have taken hold of that scene. Because from my perspective, it comes to this, Violet. These people are your
Mhm.
family now. You have been estranged from the rest of your family. Your brothers have passed away. Your father, you don't want to involve in the supernatural. And your sister Alice, you're trying to get out. Now, granted, at this point in time, you were not yet aware of what was going on with your sister Alice, but these people are your family. They have saved you in some sense, and
Mhm.
I think being able to respond emotionally to them would have been very nice. An example
Yeah.
I'll give right here is you did not know Uncle John as long as they had. You were not there for all of the things that they did with Uncle John. But you
Mhm.
must remember, Uncle John was there to essentially assist in them being able to save you. He has been a constant figure, and you have to see it as like an extension of yourself. You draw courage and strength because these people had the courage to fight your enemies for you. And they had the courage to fight not just because of their own will, but because Uncle John was in their corner. He was a
Mhm.
strong figure who saved them before and he was reliable. That's why they could have the confidence to go out into the night because they knew if something went wrong, Uncle John would be able to save them, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you may not understand their full grief at Uncle John dying, but to be able to sympathize with them and to offer a speech or to offer something of substance to them, uh, a will would have been very much nice to see.
Mhm.
In the subsequent parts, I will have to say, scene context is important. One thing I've noticed, and it's not just you, a lot of times, some players, when other people are talking, are going to zone out. And when they zone out, they don't know what's going on in the scene, and their
Mhm.
responses feel jarring. This has happened a few times ever since the
Yeah.
beginning of the campaign, to be fair. And I think
Yeah.
everybody is in part guilty to this. I understand
Yeah.
it is a very long session, and when you're tired, you kind of zone out. But when it
Yeah.
happens too much, it interferes with the story. And this is where I bring back my point on scene efficiency, right? You'll notice that a lot of scenes don't have to be as long as they are, because rather it's that the scene isn't utilized to its maximum utility.
Yeah.
And we end up dragging. And when somebody drags, I'll give you an example. This is just an example. Don't take personal offense here. The
Yeah.
Pythagoras situation. These characters were not having a proper chat. There was no communication here. They were saying one thing and the other person heard another. That expressly shows us where we stand on the communication scale. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So this disconnect creates a fissure, and all that time we could have reduced to less than half if we were more direct about what we were speaking. It's one thing to be careful, but it's another to overthink. And that leads to us being in a position where we can't really move forward.
Hmm.
Another thing is, I think, social interactions. I feel as if a lot of times we aren't really strong social characters. I understand everybody has their own standoffishness, but you must understand if you do not make friends, if you do not try to cater to somebody,
Yeah.
they are not going to be in your corner. And in this world, you don't have anybody else. It was fine when Uncle John was around because he could bail you out, but now he's not here. And you'll find that you have very few people you can rely on. You're going to be over relying on Thierry Henry now because he's one of the only people who can help you. When we talk about Hilda or Grace, sorry, Grace is a recent character introduced. You know nothing about her. We haven't had a proper conversation with her yet,
Mhm.
and at least the lot of you. She is a Redgrave. She's been accepted as a Redgrave. What has she been doing? What does she know that the rest of you do not? Why does she know these things? And where does she stand in comparison to the rest of the family? If you do not make good on this, you will make an enemy instead of an ally. And I think going forward, especially in case 3, which is war, battle,
Yeah.
you need allies.
We need allies badly.
You need allies. Sometimes having to compromise is hard, but it must happen. And I've given you plenty of things and context of people you can talk to. I think you guys have forgotten about Natalie. You have her contact information, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
There's recently that you got one of you got the card for Helmut's trading. Then there's also Ulrich, the director
Yeah,
of
boy.
Enderon.
Yep. I have both
And there
those
are other
cards. It's
people
crazy.
there at the Levisier who could have been good allies, but because of your reckless stunts, they might be more tempted not to associate with you because you're essentially just kind of barbaric.
We're
So
kind
the
of like a walking
impression you
time
give
bomb.
should be very prominent.
So is this where we have Hugo have to go like is where we release the public shame video to make everyone think that he's a much more relatable figure?
That ain't gonna work.
An apology video could work.
No. Listen, remember, we have to have the video rolling, and then he acts like he just turned it on. Remember, that's the most important thing that YouTube has taught me.
This man.
Yeah, listen, and then
Put an
listen.
animal in the
Hear me
video.
out.
as
Hugo
well.
Hear
Head
me out,
Grave.
Hugo.
What's
Hugo, I'm
I'm
gonna teach
sorry.
you how to listen, Terracochi. I'm gonna teach Hugo how to use a ukulele.
Hell yeah.
Can't
You
wait
know,
for
so
the
you know what apology video I'm talking about.
Hell
can't
yeah.
wait for the great like Hugo Redgrave to throw the I'm sorry that I killed your friends. I
I'm
thought
sorry
they were
that I
stronger.
no. Remember, if
Please
he
forgive
has the
me,
if he has the ukulele,
Please
he
don't
has
know.
to admit. Remember, the ukulele, if it's in the apology video, he has to say, "I'm sorry, I touched those kids." It's part of the rules.
Whoa, I ain't a Meadowman. Calm down.
I knew you didn't know what video it was.
I
It's
know
too
what
late.
video, you dumbass. What do you
It's too late, Hugo. You must admit to the crime that you did not commit. Rules are rules.
All right.
Rules are rules.
So let me continue.
Yeah.
When we progressed the story, we met the boogeyman. I feel
Yeah.
like that is when character breaks started happening. Because I feel like some people lost control of their characters.
Yeah.
The main figure I want to point at is Ezzy. Being able to play on the comedy aspect of the boogeyman for me wasn't a bad thing. I think it kind of shows you breaking down, but I think you need to cement that in character. You haven't had dialogue to yourself because you've everybody has a mental breaking point. After despair upon despair upon despair, you will have a breaking point. That's true. But I feel as if that was kind of glossed over, as in playing along to the mood is one thing, but you did not make that intention clear. So it confuses us if this is a character break out of character, or if this is you giving into and breaking as a character, or if it is you playing along as part of a master plan. These three things, whatever whichever one it is, wasn't made clear to us. And because of that, it feels out of place. I think that part should have been cemented more. I think that's when you started losing grasp a little bit of what the character was about. Um, that scene was very much overshadowed just a few sessions later when we had the gambit, the Redgrave gambit with Edric. That was beautiful. Honestly, that was another part. It wasn't exactly what I would call derailment, but it was very much, it caught me off guard. I didn't think any of you had the balls to do something like that. So props to you guys for doing that. And
Yeah.
the credit goes to Ezzy because he initiated that
Mhm.
that gambit. Very very interested in how that's gonna play out because it really does set your path straight. So I'm curious to see how that will unfold in case 3. When it comes to the reveal of Edric, I wonder what you guys think. We'll get to that in a second, but I was curious because Edric to me is a very close character. He was originally a character I made for COC that never got introduced,
Oh,
at least in personality wise. The prototype was a COC character.
makes sense.
And to bring him back and to give him shape in the World of Darkness was very close to my heart. It was interesting to see. But I'm curious on the thoughts of the characters, and I hope we explore this in the side sessions of how you think of the Redgrave family. You'll notice I brought this up in Hugo's Fear Trial. The Vanderlands have been very upfront about what it is they want. Do they hide things? Assuredly, they do, but they've been very upfront with their intentions. But the Redgraves have been extremely mysterious. We still don't know what is the purpose of the Redgrave family. And it is hard to unite the family without knowing what this cause is, and if it is a cause that everybody can get behind. And I think that's where the family dysfunctional side happens.
Mhm.
Because now everybody is had to has essentially had to follow this vague idea of what they think it might be, and that creates conflict of interest. And I think that's what, at least lore-wise, would contribute to being dysfunctional.
Agreed.
Eventually, when we progressed the sessions, um, one thing I did like was the scene before the war form came, the awakening, shall we say, the first change for Henry. I very much like that scene. I love playing it. It was in my back pocket for a while. I had that saved, and I was wondering how it would manifest. But I feel as if opportunities were definitely lost. You see, when you go into something and you make an assumption, it is genuine to your character, but I feel like it might not be exactly with what the player wants. Because you could have played Henry accurately while still trying to get what you want. And I think we can acknowledge that was an oversight.
Yeah.
Because the reason why the snake was the one who answered you is because you spoke to the snake first. Remember, its acknowledgement gives it life.
Mm.
And speaking to the snake first, while not speaking to the others, made sure that that was the one who was going to respond to you. And you create expectations, and those expectations reflect back onto you. That's where that masterful kind of mirror comes from for Cyril, because it is
Mm.
quite honestly you talking to yourself.
Mhm.
I think the scene before the war form as well, the battle between the Redgraves, I think that was gonna happen eventually. I'm
It was
glad
so
we got it
good.
over with sooner rather than later. Because think about it, we could have picked a very, very bad moment to have infighting. The fact that we got it out of the way kind of puts
That-
us. It makes it clear for us where we all stand.
Oh yeah.
I am very thankful that you gave me that tip, and I did run with it because I was like, listen, I know if I tell Hugo shit is gonna happen, but I need to do it now. I should do it now because if I don't, shit will get worse. And lo and behold, it was the right option. Thank you again, DM, for that hint. Because yeah, it really was. In hindsight, that was. I already was gonna go for that, but I was just like, God damn.
Can you imagine the disaster that would have unfolded had this happened during the Levicia? It
That
would have
would have.
been terrible.
It would
Oh,
have
yeah.
been terrible.
Not only because of the reactions of other characters that aren't supposed to be there, but also because of the venue, the place you're doing this at, would all work against you. It would have been a very bad situation. So it's good
Yeah.
that we got it over with before that. Though I had my complaints about it taking so fucking long.
Yeah. As
The
for
despair that man felt.
as for the in character bit, in hindsight, yes, I really could have gone for what I wanted while looking away. However, as much as I am dissatisfied on that slight bit, the opportunity for salvaging and moving forward is still there. I'm very happy with it. I feel like the snake was a good choice for what was, and I hate to say it, what was the fallout from a character perspective, from like a drama perspective, right? I really do wish that if I had been a little bit less, because in character, like I said, there's a lot of things I wouldn't know, right? But you're right. I shouldn't have been so impulsive. I do feel like I missed a lot of opportunities. But once again, it's that thing where, I was feeling down about what I did in the moment. But the more that I talked to you and Salter and Terracochi and Tony and Hugo and Ez about it, it really just cemented me and made me feel more confident in what I had done. Does that make sense? Because you
No, I
can't
understand.
change.
Again, there is no such thing as a wrong choice. Not in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of
Plus,
things.
what was I gonna do, Mystic? Ask you for a rewind?
Man, that would have been insane.
You're like,
Yeah,
imagine,
yeah,
yeah, of
imagine,
course.
bro, imagine if I asked for a rewind and then after I got what I wanted and I was told I wouldn't get another one, I asked for another one. That'd be even crazier,
You know what's funny? At least if you rewinded, we would have had a different outcome, yeah?
right? You know what? You're right, guys. Let's rewind back 6 sessions so we can redo Levicia.
Yeah, let's
So,
do about one more session back and just redo it again.
But yeah,
continuing onward.
keep going, Mystic.
Yeah.
We get to the Levicia. For me, I felt as if a good early part of the Levicia was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
Because we have characters here, and I don't think any one person is to blame. I think the group as a whole is to blame. While it is fun to banter with a character, you must understand that we have goals that we have to do, and we only have so much session time. It is, like I said again, it's about scene efficiency. While it's nice to banter, it would have been, it could have been a lot more productive. And the people who were talking, we had the main runners, Salter, Sai, Terracochi, and then we had, of course, Ezzy. For Ez, I felt he was lost. I don't know exactly what he was talking about. When it comes to what his was pure banter. I don't think anywhere in that conversation we achieved anything. And again, banter is not bad, but I felt as if, what exactly are we trying to do here? We came here with a purpose. What are we doing? And some people were on track, or they tried to get information out. Sai successfully managed to get information out of Beryl, him talking about some secret police stuff, hinting at what happened to Arthur Moon,
Mm-hmm.
which was very interesting to say the least. We had our first reactions to some things and certain characters with Clementine and things like that. So it did build something. But I felt the other people in the scene could have elevated the scene further. This is another portion of where I would talk about Adele. You were silent for most of that scene, pretty much all of it for the most part. So you had your little solo thing. It would have been very nice for you to talk, to start talking, to try to get to know these people, even if it is for the sake of manipulation. Granted, you are young, yes, but at the same time, you understand, and you had the resolve to come here. Remember, they asked you if you wanted to come here, if you were ready to do this.
And
Mhm.
I think if you mentally prepared yourself, you have a powerful will. You are a mage. You're not
Mhm.
so fickle and weak-minded. And you would think after all of the things you've seen Vanderlyn rituals, you've seen actual Vanderlyns, you've seen how the grotesque way that your father died. I think after a certain point you'd be numb to all of this, and would become a lot more cold in a way in your development. That's what
Mhm.
I was expecting. Again, you don't
Yeah.
have to necessarily adhere to my expectations. It is your character after all. But I felt as if
Yeah.
it was a missed opportunity to do something. Remember, if you do something, whether it's good or bad, it accomplishes and cements your character and you go forward. When
Uh-huh.
you do nothing, you just sit there and nothing really happens. You understand? You let the scene flow you by. And this is where I
Mhm.
again talk about scene efficiency. It comes down to the fact that while that scene was long and it was interesting, I don't think it was necessarily productive. That would have been the perfect time to start making some social connections, even if you were planning to kill them later. That's how business deals kind of
Yeah.
operate, don't they?
Mhm.
So that was a mischance. And of course, the
Yeah.
events of the Leviathan itself were somewhat questionable. Um, I think it was fun to try to outbid people, but what if I had decided to be cruel to you and I would have had them stop bidding? Had you not been able to produce the money, you would have been in a very terrible spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want you to keep in mind, while it is good to have fun, you must understand the time and place for those types of scenes.
Yeah.
Because if you had fucked up during those if you had messed up during the auction, it would have been very bad for you. And I bring this up not to scare you or anything, but to give you a warning, as in, hey, pay
Mhm.
attention, because you might think that I'm doing this to spite you, which is most often not the case. It comes down to the fact that hey, you're interested in continuing the story, but if you keep doing this, you will create problems for yourself. So
Yeah.
make sure you keep that in mind. And I feel like some things should be rather obvious. Violet, if you don't know something, simply ask.
Yeah.
It's all it would
Yeah.
take. Because
Okay.
on being on a defective dominate, it makes you sound like you're a robot. You're just
Yeah.
answering numbly. I don't think you'd have
Yeah.
that sort of sass, especially not with that level of dominate. So
Uh-huh.
again, be careful with what you do in certain situations. If you
Okay.
don't know about a power out of character or how it would affect you, just ask me.
Yeah.
Okay? I didn't detail dominate because I thought it was very obvious. We've already seen what dominate does.
Yeah.
Dominate has been a thing of
It
fear
was
since
used
session
on
6.
Alice.
It was used
But
on
no, no,
Alice,
fuck
too.
the Alice thing. You saw the warning from the very moment we had the Millard vision in session
Yeah.
6. You guys have feared the power of mind control, dominate.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought it was very
Yeah.
obvious what it did. It was mind control. So I think again, because for a large portion of players, it comes down to you guys don't take the old lessons with you, or sometimes you forget them in the moment, and it creates situations like this. So be
Yeah.
careful of that in the future.
Alright.
And
Sounds
then, of
good.
course, ending off with the fear trial here. The fear trials, honestly, the most proud work in terms of just role playing technicality. It required a lot from me, and I loved everybody's fear trial. I thought all of you guys did pretty well. There's a reason why I had Salter pause in between the trials. It's because the out of character segments would ruin the atmosphere of the fear trial recording.
Yeah.
Because the results of the fear trial are only going to be presented at the end, the start of case 3.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we have that to consider. And what they mean to you and all this other stuff. We'll get into what the painting is all about too. Why is everybody after this painting? Those answers will come in case 3. Now let's get to some of the technical parts. Sultra asked me a question earlier, which was about solo scenes. Now I want you to remember something, and don't take this as an insult. Out of everybody, you've had the most solo monologue sessions besides me, the DM.
Me?
And I
Yeah,
want
probably.
yes, you can go back and check.
I'm not surprised.
You're watching the sessions anyway.
Yeah.
You've had the most solo scenes out of everybody. And a solo scene doesn't necessarily mean you're away from the group, but it is a solo monologue to yourself. You've had the most of those.
Yeah.
And you'll notice I will be honest with you when I say more than half of those were unnecessary.
Sure.
They would have been far easier as a summary. They would have been far more easy to express in actual actions rather than just monologuing about them. You see, a solo scene, and this is just a technical part of roleplay here, takes time away from the players. When we're in a group setting and you go to do a monologue, that monologue should be something that is impactful. It shouldn't be something dry and dreary or something obvious, like a personal reaction. No, they should happen in group format. Because when you do so, not only do you take time away from the session, but you also bring everybody else out of the character sphere. Thoughts that they would have had a more natural response would fade away by the time you're done. I don't mind giving solo scenes. In fact, I do give them quite handedly, as you've seen in Case 2. The amount of solo scenes in the entirety of Case 2 is more than the actual group moments in Case 1. But those solo scenes should elevate the story. They shouldn't be something that is stating the obvious, or that is a character moment that is ill-fitting to the situation. And because of that, right, we're getting back to that topic of scene efficiency. Not everything requires a full scene. Some things can be summarized very easily. Some things can be done and shown, and it makes it more impactful than just having a monologue about it. When certain characters feel a certain way, I won't just monologue about it. I'll quite literally have them express it in their actions. And that makes it more believable, makes it more realistic. Rather than sitting and thinking about something in a very serious situation. And I think if anybody should have asked for solo scenes, it should have been people like Ulti and Violet. That to me makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because you have
Yeah,
had the
deadass.
most screen time out of everybody, quite literally. And because of this, right, most of your scenes are wasted. I mean, if we talk about pure feats, from the start of Case 2 to the end of Case 2, you have practically no feats that supersede your feats in the first case. And I'm talking about both in a role-playing sense, not emotional, of course. I'm talking about in the sense of progressing the story by yourself over doing actual feats and helping in terms of combat and progression. So I think some self-reflection is necessary on that front. Being disruptive is one thing, but also you have to keep in mind that if you do a scene like this, it should be to elevate and accentuate to everybody else. So that kind of thing creates a gap. And oftentimes, when you're monologuing, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, sometimes I lose my train of thought and I start thinking about what it is you're saying. And it's not really hitting for me. So I don't know. Maybe it's just my personal preference. But for me, I think if you're going to do a solo scene, make sure it is relevant, impactful, and sweet. There's no need for long-winded things that don't really matter. A solo scene is something that progresses. That's why we do it. Because it takes time out of everybody else. Right?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind going forward.
I understand what you mean.
In terms of solid performance, probably the most stable, as you can see from the XP. The most stable player in the campaign so far is still Hugo. I think we can all agree on that. He's been the most consistent in progression, being there to support on all fronts. Whereas everybody else, it's up and down. Whereas his has been just a little gulf. Right?
Yeah. Pretty consistent.
You you kind of see that reflected in the XP. Whereas somebody would get 6 XP for this one session, right? And then the other session they'd get something like 2 or 3. Right? Whereas, Hugo would be consistent. And I think it's been interesting to see the development of that character too. I think another one that's been rather consistent in the latter half, Ulti as well, started becoming rather consistent in a way of how he expresses his character. Again, props off to you, Ulti. I'm glad to see it, honestly. I lost a little bit of hope in you, I ain't gonna lie. But it's good to see that we're progressing and we're achieving something.
Proud of you, my boy.
Yes.
Thank you.
You.
When it comes to Psy, um, indulgence. Take in the scene before you react. Let
Got
it
you.
simmer a little bit, and then when you do make an action, you can be confident of what you're doing. Because being hasty sometimes goes against you. And I think
Yeah.
you guys have all felt it to a certain extent. There's only so much I can do to save you after a certain point because timing is important. I think you knew things were going to be bad to go back to a place that you knew what was already, dark and damp in the first place to explore something that might not have been relevant at the time.
Yeah.
So those actions you should be very careful of because sometimes while it does create intrigue, it also will work against you as a player, like your intention as a player. It'll be good character development, but again, it'll work against what you as the player want for your character. Right? You're gonna basically ride the wave, or the wave consumes you. So be careful on that front, so you don't end up disappointing yourself.
Mhm.
Ezzy, again, I don't know if your character breaks are intentional or if they are not, but you need to make that very clear because I've felt out of touch a little bit with your character in the last 4 sessions. Um, it's been strong when it's strong and weak when it's weak. You started off a little bit jarringly for me with the boogeyman, and then the next session with Edric, you were very strong, and then the session after that, with the inauguration, I thought you were very strong as well, with Neith and all that other stuff, and then the session after that, it was a bit confusing. We had strengths again when we had the confrontation with Henry, and then you lost me again at the Levisier. I'm just saying, that's something to take note of. Maybe I'm not understanding something, but I'm just saying that at least for me, it's a little bit unclear. For the most part, that's all I wanted to say. The rest of what I'll say right now before we start the actual Q&A, is the composite of this story. I think you guys have all realized by now that this is no ordinary hunter campaign. I think you could tell that from character creation because a lot of you are way stronger than beginner hunters should be. Right?
Mhm.
If you look at just from a group dynamic, you guys are extremely powerful. It wouldn't be surprising that just in terms of pure power, you'd be able to overwhelm the strongest of vampires that aren't antediluvians and Methuselahs. I think that's fair to say. Because of this, you'll notice that you have very little experience with what would be considered normal for vampires. Think about it. You've not met many low-rung vampires.
Yeah.
You've not met normal entities. You haven't even met a werewolf, but you've met Vanderlins. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This is intentional on my part. Because it's to expose you to the specialness so that the mundane feels mundane. Because that's how red graves are supposed to be. We're in a time of judgment campaign. I think I revealed that towards the latter half. That means that we are in an apocalypse scenario. Because of that, the most wild things are going to come out of the woodworks and you became hunters towards this apocalypse scenario. So the things you see are meant to be abnormal. That is an intentional design of the story. That may sound like an excuse at times, but it's true. Because we don't have the time. Think about how long the campaign already is. We don't have the time for you to work your way up from normal vampires up. And your actions haven't exactly helped make things more normal for you, if we're being very frank. From messing with certain people to messing with Vanderlins to dealing with stuff that you know nothing about and just getting caught up in it. I think you guys understand as well, just from not just me but from you, that we are not going through a normal course, and as such, you're gonna have to adapt a lot faster. It is a monumental achievement from the meta plot perspective that you were able to survive all of this nonsense. Most hunters, 90% of hunters who are in your position, would have likely died. Let's be honest here. I think you guys can all agree to that, right?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Would Bethel have died?
Probably not. Though he would be a lot more careful than you, so he wouldn't end up in some of these positions. It's
Fair
hard
enough.
to say. I'd have to play him in those scenarios, but for the most part, he wouldn't land himself in the positions you guys landed yourself in.
That's about all I wanted to say. Does anybody have anything they want to say in response?
Not really.
Hmm.
LT, Violet, y'all have anything you want to say?
Not really.
Huh?
You know, I would like to say first and foremost that regardless of any problems that we have felt or maybe even had or we've felt with ourselves, with our own performances, look at the number of sessions that we're on, okay? Like dead ass.
Yeah,
We
we're on our
all
record.
enjoy this enough and we all are pushing forward of our own accord to continue these characters regardless of the choices we've made, right?
That is
Mhm.
respectable. I agree
And
with you wholeheartedly.
and
As much as I may harp on and bitch at you guys, that's because I care. The fact that I bitch at you means that I care enough. Because if I don't care, I'm not gonna bitch at you. Look at Neith, for example. That's not me being intentionally doing that. It's just that I find that I don't really care anymore.
yeah. And it's something else.
So
Like I told
you
you,
know,
Mystic has made, and I want you guys to know this. Mystic has made many concessions for us. Many for us. He has even given me the chance, if I can, to salvage what I was in certain cases. He's given us a chance to move forward. There are so many people who would, and let's be honest here, it's very easy to look at Mystic and go, wow, he's a fucker and he's just doing this to torture me. He is not, right? Let's be honest here. He's given us all so many chances to improve ourselves and to keep moving forward. And honestly, this has, from somebody who has spent the past, what is it now, 5 years as solely a storyteller slash DM in a million tabletops, this has reignited my love for tabletops because I haven't gotten to be a player in so long, and I am quite rough at it. But I have enjoyed myself, and in case two, I I was a bit miserable. I'm not gonna lie, but you guys quickly got me back on the right track, and for that, Salter, for that Terracochi, for that Ez, Violet, Alti, I really do appreciate it. I always do bounce back after like a day or two, but you guys pulled me back in the moment, and I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
am very much appreciative that Mystic himself didn't have to really get in there that much to try and, reignite that passion. So, thank you. That's all I'm going to say, my fellow players. I really do love playing with you guys. Don't tell the other group this, but, you guys know. If you know, you know.
All right, we're gonna make sure to get the video.
you heard it here, salty boys on the recording.
Yes, we did it. We got him admitting it.
We got him.
It took a year.
I mean, he already told us that, but we never had it
Yeah.
on recording. So
Well, you guys, well,
He was hiding it.
all I said was if you know, you know.
don't worry, don't worry. We know, and
We
the audience
know.
knows too. But
I think that my enthusiasm in case two, because before I was a bit reserved, in case one and part of case two because of my own,
To be honest,
personal
in
feelings on things.
case
But
one,
I think
I'm just gonna be honest with you. Your character had like a little bit of a depressed tone, so I was starting to worry about you because when I was listening to the videos, I could kind of hear it, but I noticed you kind of got more dynamic as time went on. So I was glad to see that.
So
But you did just come out of a terrible ordeal of like the crap me and Mystic pulled on you a while back. So I mean, I
it
understand.
wasn't. Listen. So what? I'll tell the audience this. I might as well just have a little fun with this. So one of the things that made me reevaluate how much energy I would put into this is when Mystic said I needed to have more fun. And I was like, have I not been showing I've been having fun? And so I realized, you know what? You're right. Why should I do half measures? If you guys really can't think I'm having fun, then I just need to be more verbal with it, apparently.
Oh yeah.
And I really do, looking back at the sessions, I do see where you're coming from, but I was channeling my own kind of feelings into Henry, which is why that depressive tone was so legitimate, and I think I did great on that. I
Yeah,
think I
you
really
did.
did do great. But once it came to when Mystic was like, just have fun, Sai, I was like, I guess you guys would just prefer this. And so I did. And I've been having a lot of fun with that too. It is nice that now, I will say, it is nice that with Henry, I have now reached a point where I can be hopeful enough where this tone of character can come through more naturally. Because I couldn't pull that dynamic kind of happiness or hopefulness with Henry to begin with. I'm gonna be real with you fuckers. I could not.
Hey, it's
Um,
understandable.
yeah.
For me, right, I always tell everybody, it's true that I'm a fucking complainer, okay? I will complain your head off. But I wouldn't be here every damn week doing doubles and triples if I didn't find it fun, if I didn't think it was worth my time. The reason I get angry when people don't show up at last minute is because I feel as if, not just for myself, but for everybody else, it is a waste of time. Because imagine you're part of a scene, we cut the session, and then next time we need you to lock in, and then you're not there.
Yeah.
It is heart wrenching because it's like, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna be there in the background. Like, think of how much that takes us out of character, right?
Mhm.
So respecting each other's time is a big part of being a consistent tabletop. And as I keep telling all of you, I think I've told you individually, but never, as a collective group. You all, whether you acknowledge it or not, you would not have been here for 21 sessions of anything. We have surely reached over 100 hours of gameplay by now. If you did not, in some small part, enjoy this campaign, if you
That's
did
true.
not, in some part, want to be part of this, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And again, this campaign was not designed to break anybody down, but it can be very grim because of its theme. And because of that, it puts us in some very bad mental states. I mean, for me, having to play all these characters with their sinister intentions and stuff like that, as much as I'm willing to say I can laugh it off, not really. I've had times where I've lapsed out of my body and started acting as characters in real life, and it started to interfere with my life to some extent. I think Terakochi has been a witness to that. It has been getting to me.
He's going insane.
That's not to worry anybody or anything. It's
No.
just I'm just saying that's how
Oh no, the
far I've gone for this.
psychosis.
That's how far I've gone for this campaign.
Mystic.
Mhm.
You know what the worst thing is? If we play a vampire campaign now, a storyline. No, Mystic. I have already moved forward with the notion you are going to be forced to play a Malkavian.
I mean, he has to play Madame Sherry. What do you mean?
I could pull off of Alcavian.
No. An Intribu Malkavian.
No,
Not
just let him.
Tribute. Well, that changes things.
Just
Yeah,
let him play
exactly.
Madame Sherry.
Listen, Mystic, and we both know Intribu changes a lot.
Ugh.
But yeah. Again, hats off to everybody. You may not have been able to make all the sessions, but when you were there, you tried your best. And at the end of the day, that's the most I can expect from everybody. We're all here to have fun and keep having fun because Case 3, I wouldn't say it's depressing, but it's very intense.
It's the
2,
it's the trials and tribulations, right?
yeah, Case 2 was the building blocks. You see, I've introduced so many characters, and these characters aren't one-offs. They each have their own story. And these
We gotta follow
characters
who we
are
want.
going to be the primary players on the board across Case 3. That's why you saw so many characters being introduced. They haven't developed yet. They're rather mysterious, and they feel shallow right now. But that's because we haven't given them the spotlight. Soon enough, we're going to get to the point in Case 3 where a lot of tensions are going to start boiling over, and we start seeing on whose side everybody stands. You've kind of already seen how the story is developing from the audio dramas. Again, the reason I do the audio dramas isn't just because it's cool, but also because as a storyteller, I cannot give the perspective of a character mid-session because the players are meant to be the main focus, right? I can't often do that. Otherwise, we'd just be sitting here and I'd be monologuing to myself,
Like
which
me.
is not the point. So I've had to kind of find a way to express these characters' movements in the background with these audio dramas, and I hope they have been effective.
Yeah. I hope so.
But yeah, with that said, let us conclude the feedback section and start the Q&A section.
Okay. For
So,
Q&A.
hold on. We're gonna go in order. One person at a time, one question at a time, and I'll try my best to answer. I will put a few ground rules in. If you have clarifications about things that have already happened, I'll try my best. But if it is a spoiler, I won't answer, obviously. That's about it. So, who wants to go first?
So, is it okay if I go first, guys?
Yeah, sure.
So I just want to have a clarification as before. As I said, this is from an earlier, from our earlier discussion upon Magadon, and this is more of a meta question for you. Nothing, but I mean that I wouldn't know publicly. You know what I mean? So you talked about certain subsidiaries. I'm not sure which ones have fallen and which ones have risen. So I going back to the question because you never answered this one. Is Siren Cosmetics and Pygmalion still around, or are those two subsidiaries post the actual official Project Twilight, like actual adventure set in, I believe, when was it? Like the early 2000s? Or was it no, it was 1999. Post that, were they given their official dissolvement because the FDA and more importantly, Project Twilight got involved, discovered what they were doing, and disposed of them? Is that still going on, or is Siren Cosmetics still around in its kind of like that weird state that it is in modern Werewolf, where it's more so become just its products are being still produced?
So it's come to the point of those organizations as they stood are no longer around because events have very much changed. The meta plot has gotten worse because of the involvement of characters that are unique to this campaign and their accomplishments. And because of the involvement of other political forces that weren't part of the meta plot, groups like Kayron. I will confirm to you right now which of these conspiracies are a part of my world. Firstly, we have Kayron, obviously, very big players around the world. The Hermetics, when it
Yes.
comes to the alchemists, they are real, but they are not to the full extent of their conspiracy selves as in Chronicles. That's because they have been subsumed by the Hermetic order of mages, the tradition.
They've been reduced to a sweatshop position where they're basically creating the raw materials or
No.
alchemical.
They've been put into the Externa Miscellanea family of Hermetics.
Oh,
So they
okay.
are part of the houses of Miscellanea in the
So they're
modern.
I know what you mean. They're the bodyguard / steward houses, right? Of the attendants of
They
the
are
mages.
they are a proper house. If you look at the 12 houses of the Hermetic order, you'll notice that each of them is a proper house, obviously. But at the same time, one of the spots has always been the miscellanea. And the reason for that is because these are smaller houses that are part of a small faction that have a lot of say over the Hermetic Order. These people are still, at the end of the day, descendants of a conspiracy. They are not to be trifled with in any regards.
Mhm.
And they are the best of the alchemists in the Hermetic Order. That is a fact.
Mhm.
So they are not as bland as bodyguards, especially not after 1999 and 1997, but rather they are an intrinsic part of the modern knights, especially a part of the Hermetic Order, especially since a lot of the strongest mages have been cast off after the Avatar Storm. So they are very important in their own way, and they are in the process of being elevated further. That's
Okay.
just on them, of course. The Lucifuge are canon, obviously. I couldn't.
I'm guessing that with the Vanderlands intervention, that their activity is a lot less in this area.
The Lucifuge are in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
And if you know anything about Metaplot of World of Darkness, you'll understand why they're in Los Angeles. Because
Yeah,
as we speak right now,
Shit.
New Orleans is a boiling pot, yes, but it's not the only boiling pot. There's also major events happening in Los Angeles, and that's where the Lucifuge
AKA
are.
where Earthbound for some fucking reason like to all circulate.
So Los Angeles is a hotbed, and the Lucifuge would obviously be there. They don't have time for New Orleans.
Yeah.
So you're not likely to see the Lucifuge in this chronicle unless something very special happens.
Has her madame, has the great lady herself gone to Los Angeles?
No. I've kept the original mystery of the conspiracies. The
Okay.
Lucifuge herself the old lady, she herself does not make personal movements. I do not like taking away from the mystery of the conspiracy. That's
Understood.
also the reason why I
So,
haven't confirmed what messengers are.
got you. So, going forward, though, now that I understand this, though, I still want to go back to my original question. So, Siren cosmetic products are still being produced, or has Charon and the FDA managed to
No, somebody
regulate that?
else. Those organizations, as in canon, have been dissolved, but people who are doing similar things have been subsumed by other groups.
Okay, so the enticers are still being made. So I'm guessing. Well, that's my
Not
question.
exactly, not exactly. Their
So
research has been used for different things. Some more positive, some more nefarious. Especially with
So-
Pentex being very aggressive about what it grabs its little fingers on.
So, when it comes to the enticers and like that stuff, so like, I'm not sure we might meet these people, but I'm just saying when it comes to Siren Cosmetics, that's where I'm kind of wondering because as you and I both went over with Salter and a few other people, the raw process of how their drugged cosmetics works, I don't believe Charon would even want to pick that up because I think it's a stretch too far even for them because of what it does to the physical body as well.
The drug market has been very much under wraps by a lot of supernatural forces because of another meta plot event. You see,
Gotcha.
the House Tremere was releasing a lot of
Um,
vitae-based blood drugs into the market of the Americas at the time, and that has been heavily suppressed by other conspiracies relating to the government, like Task
mhm.
Force X, and of course other supernaturals who are not in this kind of business. So Charon hasn't really had to get their hands
Hmm.
in because of that. Drug trade is especially harsh,
Yeah.
especially if you consider a lot of gang violence going on in the early
Because
2000s.
it would basically be they would lose. It would be like they'd be losing way more manpower even trying to stop that than they would from their current tactics. By
That
invest,
and the fact that House Tremere is going through a lot of trouble because this is around the time when the church started catching scent of the High Chantry
oh
in
yeah,
Italy.
yeah.
So
Also, question when it comes to that. One last thing. So when it comes to this, do you mind? And I do mean this. Do you mind giving us a list of what subsidiaries or at least what companies still operate like this? I'm guessing Vesuvius. I mean, there's no way you could take down Vesuvius.
no, no,
Non.
no, no. I will say this right now. I will never release a list for you because
Oh, no,
these are
I
things.
just meant
These
like
are
public
information.
companies. That's all. Like actually
No,
like
no, no.
public.
This is information that you'll have to try to
Okay.
find yourself.
Okay.
This is not stuff that I will
Then
do.
my other last question is: so is the Vitae blood trade similar to the same one that Pentex board members had when they were human? The Vitae they were given by that one Giovanni member. Was Giovanni
No,
or was
no,
he a
no.
Tremere?
The Vitae blood trade of the Tremere is just as it was in canon. It's just that because there are a lot more forces on the board, it's been a lot harder for them to find business in that sort of avenue. So they've kind of
Gotcha.
given up
Okay.
on it.
Because I thought that was an incredibly fun touch. The anti that there was a specific. I think he was a Tremere, wasn't he? He made his blood so perfectly into an anti-aging serum in such a diluted amount that they're like, oh yeah, it just extends your life. And they figured out, oh fuck, this is actually fucking vampire blood. Oh shit, we're being semi-ghouled. um, but yeah, no, that's enough. I'll turn the floor to somebody else. I apologize. I just get really into this, so I want someone else to take over. Thank you, Mystic.
All right, so who's up next?
You fool!
Me?
Yes,
Fair
you!
All right, 1 second. I'm
Sorry, that wasn't a
Let me
curveball
think.
question, by the way, Mystic. I do apologize. I have a better curveball later.
Hold on. I guess I'm more interested in like the what ifs and anything else currently about to happen. Although I am interested in seeing like where certain groups will start showing up, like let's say sorcerers, mages, maybe the other hunters that we mentioned in the campaign, like how they're going to react to this. But I'm a bit curious about like certain things we might have missed. Like how many characters did we exactly miss in like case 2? Like you don't have to say specifics. I'm just curious about like quantity wise.
Remember, I don't like to use the word "you missed characters" anymore. I told you I kind of got rid of that idea
All
in
right.
COC.
So
If a character hasn't been introduced yet, it's because they haven't become part of the plot yet.
That's
or
fair.
you haven't pursued hard enough for them to be revealed. But every character you're meant to meet, you're meant to meet.
Okay.
Could you have met extra characters? Perhaps. Could you have met them sooner? Perhaps. It would have been a lot easier had you had Thierry Henry's help a lot earlier in the story. He
Oh,
would
yeah.
have helped introduce you to Madame Cherie way sooner. You would have probably been more equipped, and he would have brought you to the Hercules workshop a lot sooner. Remember, when you went to the workshop, the patron was not there. Thierry is good friends with him, which is why he was able to just get you those weapons. But that is a main contact I would like you to keep if you know what's best for you, because the person there is a man by the name of Jackson Rafastio, and he is the owner of that shop, and he's a very useful person to have around should you get to know him. Again, no spoilers here. I'm just saying that is somebody you're going to meet, guaranteed. It's already been set in place.
Okay.
I think rather than new characters, it's the characters you've already met that you need to find attachments for. So characters like Natalie, how do you want Ulrich to be part of this? The doctor, the fair doctor himself,
Yeah.
the smiling man, and kind of piece together what it is that's going on here. A new avenue of the world is going to be revealed to you right after you meet the Swan Maiden and have a proper conversation with her. She's going to introduce you a lot to the other side of the world line of fairies. So it'll be very interesting to see where you go from there.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
ask
guys
about
want
her
to-
after, but that works out.
Mystic, what she offers? She's gonna be like, Ellie, she's gonna be like, you there, have one of these, and she's gonna offer you like a cookie, and you're like, oh, how bad? And then we just see your eyes grow larger, and you're like,
Hey.
and she glamored you, and you get sent to the hedge.
So I
She's
will
like,
say this:
About time.
The-
It worked out perfectly.
in terms of progress, what ifs, I will tell you right now, the Lucas plot line is done. For Lucas,
Lucas
you
is
have
done.
gotten the most that you can possibly get,
Okay.
and that is how he reacted to Millard, what he did subsequently with his time. We saw all that in the vision with Adele
Yeah.
at the Lavicia, and it comes down to this. What we're trying to figure out is what happened to Pascal afterwards,
I am curious what happened.
and why the painting is relevant. That's all that's left for Lucas's story.
It's
When it
made
comes to
out of
Millard-
Pascal.
When it comes to Millard, we have figured out about half of Millard's story. You see, we've seen his actions, but we don't know why he has done these things.
Yeah.
And that information will come readily when you find what it is that he hid.
Yeah. So we're gonna need Carl to
So
keep
finding
deciphering
that
the
will
book.
complete the Millard plotline.
Okay.
Once you've completed Millard and Lucas, the Pascal plotline will naturally appear later down the line.
Okay.
But I will say this. No, actually, I'll say this later. Any more questions?
Come on, guys, don't be shy.
Uh,
Oh, Oldkey's deafened. What the fuck?
is it possible that we could have found more about like certain mementos? Like, I mean, we obviously did the Maya scarf. We did the book. I mean, I think we're missing a Vanderlyn one we never got to do. Correct?
No, that's my manuscript. That's the manuscript I have. The not part of. Okay.
There's
okay,
a piece
so this is
missing,
where I'm-
but I
this
think
is
you're
where
supposed to
I'm
give it to Adele.
very. This is where I'm very conflicted about the manuscript.
Uh huh.
I am, because I have another idea of what to use it for, but I know that Mystic really does. The Orsini vision would give us so much information,
It
but
might
I'm not
help
sure
us
if I
theorize.
I'm not sure if I want to gamble this.
So one thing I will say before I answer your question, Salty Boy,
Huh?
a moment. The first mention of the Orsini family was by Edric when you guys asked, and this is another W for Ezzy. When he asked what the purpose of the Vanderlins were, like why are they our enemies, Edric explained to you that the Vanderlins were a sword, a tool belonging to an even greater ancient enemy, and that was the Orsini. Furthermore, the only other time Orsini was mentioned was in the Vanderlyn document, right?
Yeah.
And Carolina's name, which you don't even know her full name because in the document it just wrote Carolina. So the mentions of Orsini have been very scarce, and this is one of those times where out of character you know more about the Orsinis than in character. The Vanderlyn manuscript, when you do it, I hope you do it in the side sessions. That should be something that should be planned.
Yeah.
Should I?
But in the Orsini vision, when you do see it, your in character reactions will be a bit more kind of strong because it paints the picture of before the Vanderlins. You understand?
So, I feel like this is something I should ask you about ahead of time or tell you because next time this would be a great. Gosh,
Wait,
it's so
one
difficult to
moment,
think
one
about.
moment, one moment. Before you continue, let me answer Salter's question.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to the mementos, there is no real rush for the mementos. They are nice to kind of experience, but that's when you have the leisure to experience.
Mhm.
That's because the story of the Red Graves only becomes really something you can piece together, right? At the end, or towards the middle or end of case 3 to case 4. So while it is good to get things early, from a storyteller perspective, I would say save the mementos for later, because the further back the sessions with the mementos are, the harder it is for you guys to solve the puzzle of the Red Graves. It's best to have all the information on hand when you need it than having to go back multiple sessions to find where the hell that information is. Because you've already seen, just from the sessions we've played, how sometimes it requires you to go back to find certain information that you might need in order to progress with your plan.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I know
So
what
the
you mean.
mementos we have available to us right now, we have the axe. You remember the
Yeah.
axe that belonged to
There's
Hector.
X. We
We have
technically
his
have his
glass
eye.
eye.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We have his shotgun. We have
Angela's. We have the book.
we have Angela's book, the proper book, not the one you have.
Yeah.
We also have one more thing. And that's Uncle John's his bandages.
Yeah.
So those are the ones you have on hand. The ones that
They
you're
also have that little
missing,
silver thing.
that you can use as well, but it's gonna show you the same thing in terms of vision wise. It was an alternate.
All right.
So, when it comes to what you've missed, and this has been lost to you, there was the syringe used by Michael on Hugo.
Mhm.
That was stolen away from you guys because Arthur Moon raided the Redgrave house before you.
Yeah. Well, we
And he
could
also
probably
stole
get it
the
from him.
documents relating to Michael. So he has the syringe. So that's something to pursue later.
Yeah.
The last things are things relating to Angela. It's Angela's garb, which is not exactly in the Redgrave house. It is in the Redgrave house, yes, but there's a part of it you can't access yet. This is a spoiler technically, but again, it's kind of obvious when you think about it. There's a reason why that was the Redgrave house. It wasn't just the house itself. There's a part you can't access yet.
Yeah.
When you do, you will find Angela's garb, and that will
Okay.
be very relevant, more relevant than the book.
Okay.
The very last of the mementos on the table is items relating to Martin. Those are the last ones.
Yeah.
So those are the things we have on the table right now in terms of mementos. So again, it's nice if you want to pursue the visions of things you already have in the side sessions, but I would recommend saving them for later because right now it's not going to make much sense, and at the same time, it's better to wait for it to be closer to the point of time that it is relevant, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Again,
Yeah.
that's my advice. If you want to do it yourself, do it. But be sure that if you're gonna do it before the in the side session, tell me beforehand so I can prepare because these things aren't easy to do.
Yeah.
So just give me a heads up.
I'll give you some
Ahead of
heads up on certain things I've planned. All right. There is one more thing, and this is just a question that I've been a bit curious about. If let's say Tony and Hugo hadn't gone to the shack with Dimitri, would his plans have been stalled a bit longer, or like would something have changed?
Originally, this is a difficult thing to answer because it's somewhat of a spoiler.
Okay.
I should say this. Going to the shack was inevitable to some extent, but at the same time, it was the resources that Hugo provided Dimitri that made it easier for him to accelerate his plans. You see, I knew from the storyteller POV, that after the vision of Millard, that you guys would start distrusting Dimitri, and he knew that as well. He's not blind. By the way, he's been able to see things, see all of you guys at all times.
Ah.
Yeah, so he knows
Aspects.
what you guys know, and he knows more than that. Because of this, the reason why is, first of all, because a good number of you made offerings to him. If you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so we can still do that?
He can still do that.
Fuck. We're cooked.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we're kinda
That's a
cooked.
real Methuselah. Again, what Dimitri was trying to accentuate to you is that Daniel is a Methuselah in what he is, but not in his prowess, in his mind, in his capabilities. But Dimitri is a real Methuselah. He knows what he's doing. And he has shown his great and vast experience by the way that he has toyed with all of you. That's the terror of fighting with Methuselah. It's not just their strength, it is their ability to manipulate. You understand?
Oh, that's a big.
And by the way, this is for reference. Today, Terror Kochi out of character got a peek at Dimitri's stat sheet, so he knows what I'm talking about when I say. Why don't you tell them, buddy?
Which okay, yeah.
Not the power, not detail, but I meant like
Okay.
what they should be expecting.
So obviously full dots in most of his basic stats, like actually higher. It's like 6.
Some of them are 6.
Yeah. Well, it's not. He has a lot. I mean, a lot on his disposable. Disposable.
Yeah, he is he has a lot to his
Yeah.
repertoire. That we'll keep it there. We'll keep it there.
Yeah. So, any plans on like entrapping him or outsmarting him? We need to send more.
Trapping him is not likely. Outsmarting him, you'll have to show that with out of
Yeah.
character grit. I'm gonna be honest.
That
You'll have
ass.
to really synchronize to
Yeah.
outsmart that guy.
There might, you know what?
But
surpass
We
me.
might have a shot. I'm gonna be real with you.
if the Red Graves really work together and you guys really do formulate a plan together, it might work.
In 4 weeks, I'm done with school technically, so I'll have enough time to
Yeah.
big brain a plan or something.
So yeah, when it comes to what you can expect, Salty Boy, the mementos and things like that, and how we go about some of these characters are gonna be more relevant later. Just wait, have a little bit more patience if you can, because it's only gonna be harder work for you, and the others, of course, because it'll be more difficult to solve the Redgrave puzzle if the pieces are too scattered apart.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to make all of the visions separate videos so you can go back to them individually, so you don't have to sift through the session. But I don't know if I'll have the brain power to do an audio for every memento. That's ridiculous work right there.
Yeah. I'm not saying like I'm planning
So-
the Rushmore thing. I'm just curious of like how many I would have
Yeah.
to go after in the future. But I can do that.
But you already have a
Mr.
fair number of them. There's only a
Mister's gonna
few.
be like memento number 5, second booty
Although-
call, and then you hear Ez screaming.
So
I mean, the obvious
that's that.
factor here is that if it's anything related to Angela, Eleanor is probably going to pursue it, or her dad. That's just how she is.
Okay. Any more questions, Salty Boy?
Let me think. I had more, but I'm gonna stave off on these because I already think I have the answer.
Terkochi says we'll go next.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, go next,
Terkochi.
Terkochi.
I have more questions, but they are more for Thierry Henry. So when we're gonna do the side sessions, I'll ask him in character. I have a lot more questions in mind, but my brain's a bit fried, so I'll ask what comes to mind. The fire event, like the big fire at the beginning, the Sumitsu spawning. I'm curious about the non-supernatural view of what happened. Did people
good question.
did people actually die, or like what happened?
Oh boy.
So this is something I'm glad you brought up, and we're gonna approach this in the side session, so when you have more downtime to actually be a part of something. But it comes down to this: the fire was reported in the news.
Yeah.
It became a big thing, but the rest of you went missing, so they couldn't interview you. By all accounts, they think you're dead or missing. But because of the complexity of the situation, proper obituaries and stuff like that, and actual legal licenses for death haven't been placed.
The problem is that a lot of people did die, especially in the fire. Everybody in Violet died. Granted, it was a very small, it's a very small town. There was maybe 30, 40 people there,
Oh, still.
like a dozen or so families. But that's still a lot of people, right? That's why the other hunters on the hunter net went there to investigate. That's very suspect, right? Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
So there were definitely people who died. In the advent of the Zamisi one, a lot of damage there was mitigated by the effect of paradigm. So I think I told you guys, but correct me if I didn't tell you. But the most people had a mass hallucination of
Yeah,
drowning.
Yeah, you told us that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that much you told us.
There has been a great number of problems because of that. Like people, it's become one of those cases. Like, remember that school in Japan where they all had a similar hallucination about spiders? It's become a mysterious, like, urban legend in New Orleans because New Orleans is a very folk tale esque urban legend filled place. The people
Yeah.
there are pretty superstitious. So
Yeah.
they all had a similar vision of drowning, and they think, "Oh shit, this is a sign," you know.
Times.
So the more human characters, and you've noticed you haven't met a lot of human characters, right? That's because of Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry was your connection to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So now is the time to cultivate those human connections. So
I have a question about that.
hold on. Let me finish your thing. Zamisi himself did not cause as much damage as you think. You guys were surprisingly working very well to stop that. And Dimitri himself was helping suppress the other vampires who were being attracted by the beckoning. But it makes you wonder, why was he doing that? Now that you have hindsight, why was he
Yeah.
doing that? Why would
So
he
he,
care?
so he wouldn't be discovered.
No, he wouldn't have been discovered irregardless. If he really didn't want to be rediscovered, he should have done nothing. Just
Because
escape.
I guess because he saw us as useful still, and didn't want us to get fucking mobbed.
Well,
Maybe,
most likely,
but
we
we'll
probably have
we'll
a.
have to wait on that one and see. But he's definitely made his presence known. They think, oh, a powerful La Sombra with all this obtenebration. You know, the La Sombra have not appeared in New Orleans historically for a while now. The La Sombra have always famously been Sabat. So the Camarilla might be thinking, ooh, we got Sabat forces here. Things will get very, very, very dodgy. So
And then
again,
meanwhile, the anarchs are like, "Oh shit! We can we can just
surprisingly, there aren't many anarchs in New Orleans. The previous prince, canonically, was very good at dealing with that. New Orleans was primarily a Camarilla-based city, but in recent times, that the hold, because the previous prince has passed away, has been slipping. And when you have presences like Vanderlyn and stuff like that, things start getting very wild. So you'll have to figure out where the power structure lies. You've already seen glimpses of the power structure.
Yeah, it
For
really
example,
does.
why is you would assume a famous person? Why is somebody as potently powerful as Ulrich, a mage? Why did he come all the way from Germany to New Orleans? What's going on here? A lot of these figures travel.
You mean Heinrich, not Ulrich?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I mean Heinrich. Yeah, sorry.
I was like, shit, he's a mage. Ulrich's a mage.
No. Ulrich went to Germany with Clementine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, how did that meeting ever happen? That's something to consider, isn't it?
And when we'll meet him,
Yeah.
Hugo's like, oh yeah, you know what, Ulrich? I'm sorry, it has to come down to. And Mystic's like, oh, by the way, Ulrich's also a mage. And then you just watch Hugo just get like nitrogen baby, like hydrogen baby. It's just blown away.
What's the next question?
Okay. Yeah, since the human Seraphine's parents. Have I met them before? Has Hugo met them? I mean, you should have because she was admitted to the hospital. Someone must have been called and no.
I'm thinking about how to answer this because I had thought about it to some extent, but not in great detail. But I do remember one thing I wrote down in my notes. When it comes to the case of Serafina, it's always been rather hands off. Serafina and her brother, what was his name again?
Alaric. No, is it?
N-
No, is it the other one?
Well, it'll come back to me. But anyway,
Mr. Takes Men. I mean, he has Dimitri in his body
yeah.
right now.
So when it comes to you and your gay blubber, bro. Anyway. When it comes to those, they have been estranged from their family to some extent. You don't know exactly why. I mean, you can assume why. Evangeline, perhaps they had a similar change of heart to the to Hermes.
Have visit me in when I can.
Yay, more Vander buddies.
What they did. Yeah, your dad was the one who paid your medical bill and got you out. But they were rather happy about your incident rather than sad. Remember, the only reason you can make friends is because you were away from them.
Yeah.
And it is a red gray family rule not to interfere with people on their, I don't know.
On
I've
their
always
dreaming
painted
journey.
everybody in this campaign as gray rather than black and white. You judge for yourself whether you like it or not. But they all have their own kind of good
Yes,
reasons.
Hugo.
And that makes sense you'd be pissed. But I will confirm for you, you had asked me before, your parents don't have any direct effect on what happened back then. But it is rather mysterious, isn't it, Hugo? What could kill Vanderlins? They're not real Vanderlins, but still, that's rather amazing. Any more questions? Wait, you have to come closer. You're too far. Bertrand, yeah.
Since the Vandalins clean up all the estates, like the fucking sites, they must have come across Bertrand's body, right? What did they do with it? They just
Clean it.
I don't think Hendrickson would have
I
cared.
don't think they care.
oh,
By the
All
way,
he
they
was
just-
listen.
The
Hendrickson
one who took
seemed,
care of the buildings directly was Hendrickson. He blew up all the Vanderlin
Yeah, he
estates.
just nuked them.
oh, just
yeah,
demolished it. All of them are just gone.
great.
Yeah, all the Vanderlin estates on his list are gone.
Yeah.
God damn it.
There's
It
a way
was
to
bound
calm
to happen.
Samuel, I guess.
I mean, if you want to go look and find out what
Yeah.
happened, you'd have to do
Granted,
the character.
the reports of those haven't come out yet. So for all extents and purposes, in character, you don't know that yet.
Okay.
It'll be over the course of the
th-
3 months that you'll see. Wait a second. You go to a Vanderlin estate, you see that shit is completely destroyed. You're like, what the hell? And then the people
God
there,
damn it.
the people there will tell you that they're gonna rebuild certain things. The estate is technically still in your name, so the land does belong to you, legally speaking.
I want to go look around for more shit in there, but I guess that's all
Oh.
kaput. Well,
You wanna
granted,
go back
what
there.
Hold
what
on,
he
so
said was he destroyed the ritual sites, so some of
he
them still might
destroyed
be
the
around if they didn't
estate,
have it.
but not the environment. So you can look
Every
around.
Vanderlin estate the reason why it is a Vanderlin estate is because it can function as a ritual site. Not all of them
Oh,
have
shit.
ritual
Stuff there.
have ritual assets or paraphernalia or fetters or whatever you want to call them. But it was in order to calm Samuel down. So I think it was a worthy sacrifice rather than
I mean,
having
yeah.
that nigga Samuel crash out. So
Samuel does hate a lot of.
Infernalist,
Yeah.
yeah. Makes you wonder
Yeah.
why he spared your ass when you talk to him, doesn't it?
Makes me wonder.
Because you know what it was, Mystic? You know what it was? He looked at me and he was just like, Madame Cherie likes you, and if I cause a scene, I lose this really good sunbathing spot.
Not really. Madame Cherie is happy to help him specifically because he's the quote unquote nicest of the Vanderlins in terms of how he treats her. But at the same time, she also understands that angering this man is probably not a good idea.
Yeah. By
She's
the way,
very good at preserving her life, if you haven't noticed.
I know. No, I love her to death. I was like, you know what? Honestly, I am gonna see her during the 3 months. I've decided that. Because I have some questions for her, and I'm sure that she's the only person that could answer them.
All right, okay.
Um,
We have
Hmm.
Ulti, Violet, and Ezzy. Ezzy, if you
No,
want
Violet's
to get
gone.
Yeah, Violet disappeared on us.
She put it in chat. Ulti is deafened, by the way.
I'm not too surprised on that one.
So I would like to say as a question here. I'm probably gonna get this answered anyway during the 3 months, but would it be all right if we're going to use our contacts during those 3 months?
Depends on what you consider your contacts. You're talking about your backstory contact?
Yeah, my backstory contacts.
I mean, it'll be somewhat hard because your contacts are something relating to a whole other state.
Oh no! I mean the other one, the much more local one.
Well, we'll have a conversation about that then.
Okay.
In session, of course.
Of course. And then, my last question here. What'd you say?
Henry, you ever gonna tell Hugo at your little meeting?
Oh, what little? Which little meeting?
The one.
with the smile, the yellow bastard.
There's something called a time and a place, and I don't think you know that, man. So we're gonna keep moving.
I'm just asking if you're ever gonna.
I mean, bro, I honestly think that you know that guy already in character. I mean, that's his boss. Wasn't Emmett his, like, I've met Emmett before.
Yeah, as a doctor.
Yeah, as a doctor. I met him as a doctor. He was still in his doctor uniform. I don't know the fuck you want me to tell you.
This man, this is gonna
Like, in
come bite you in the
character.
butt. This
In
is gonna-
character. No. In character, what did you tell me? You said you didn't want any part of that, correct? You said.
In character, you're.
Yeah, but I think you still should have
Like,
told him shit.
I want you to
Oh.
realize I do want to tell
Hey,
you,
hey,
but
keep
what
the
do I tell you?
tension- Keep
Hey,
the
you're
tension for the official session.
no. I'm saying, but listen. I want you to realize in character 2 things. Okay? And this is me answering a question for you now. Because this is what this is now. It's a Q&A. I did not want to tell you first and foremost because you already made your stance on that situation clear. Let's be honest here. You did.
I
Right?
also made my stance clear that you were
Yeah.
a traitor, but I still let
Yeah.
you.
I'm not done yet. I get you, but let me finish up.
You mercy.
On the second point, this was a man that my instincts and everything else told me I can't beat him. Like, if this became a fight, I was gonna die. Why would I willingly tell you someone who I have okay,
Even
listen.
if I knew something was going on.
Look at me right now.
Okay. Yes.
After Levissier and your insane crash out of just
No.
punching people to death, do you really believe that I think you are stable
You
enough
should at
to learn?
least give me a little hint, like
I will give you a proper
It's a
hint.
bit
I do
funny.
plan on that. I plan on doing that over the
Okay.
3 months. I did. But you have to realize I didn't tell you that because I was like, first off, okay, and this is the biggest part here. This is the third part I didn't really want to say out loud, but I could not suffer any more distractions for the Levissier or else Mystic was going to kill us all. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I was like, we
Okay.
need to finish
We
case
already
2.
knew this man was getting starting to tweak, so we had to speed that up.
Everybody.
Yeah, I'm saying, that actually is one of the reasons. I genuinely, because listen. I will tell you during the 3 months, but you need to realize this man was someone that Mystic was confident enough to use as a singular roadblock. What the fuck was I supposed to think? And look, bro,
Arian.
this is somebody who has been able to carefully manipulate this behind the scenes and use your trust against you. Now, you tell me, how can I... Dead ass, see? Yeah, he
technically is like a father figure to me. He's a mentor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Like, and the worst part is, I do want to see. I do want to interact.
Fuck? Goddamn! Can I have one good person guiding me?
Okay.
Hey,
First
don't
off,
worry.
you knew
You
he
had to
wasn't a
meet
good
you.
person. You knew he wasn't out of character. We've literally had scenes with him talking about her to her.
Okay,
Don't
but
fucking. Yeah,
I know, but as
Yeah,
Hugo,
12
he has been
Okay, cool.
saving
And yeah,
grace.
he's certainly been more than a father figure to her, huh?
Oh my god. Anyway,
Anyway,
moving on. Ulti, you have any
moving on.
questions, buddy?
Are you back, Ulti?
See, I'm sure I had questions at some point in time,
No,
but like
no.
I can't remember.
Did you not write it down?
We've got the ancient
Question,
Begor.
you know what this does?
This
This
is
is
a
a
Q&A
question.
session. Ulti.
Mystic, if Ulti gains the ability to remember, will Carl gain like
Yeah.
a massive buff?
Well, that's the key to his true awakening. He needs to remember.
He needs to remember who
It's already
you
awakened.
are.
He's already unlocked. He just
All
needs to
I'm gonna-
remember.
All I'm gonna say is, if Bro remembers, I think Nell might have another mental crash out.
Wait, oh my god! Imagine that as Nell gets less and less relevant, the stronger you two become. That'd be kind of fucked up. That'd be
That's
a
the
horrible
secret
psychic
sign.
power.
That's exactly what
You
it
know,
is.
I thought you'd have some questions about yourself after listening to the audio
I'm surprised
of
y'all
Arthur
didn't ask.
Moon.
Yeah, dead ass would be MK Ultra shit. Okay.
Oh, I probably did. I need to go rewatch that
Oh no.
because
Okay. You know what?
See, I had questions. It's just that I forgot. You see, I'll get it back in some unknown period of time, but
You mean
Okay.
that time is not now. It seems.
Okay. So my question is this. I'm probably gonna figure out anyway, but what does what's it called again? The shop I have a card for again? Hellsmoot, you said?
Helmut's Trading, yeah.
Yeah, what do they sell there? Or am I gonna figure that out myself?
It's hard to say. They're sort of like a spiritual doctor, sort of like kind of miscellaneous, like a pawn shop.
Okay.
People go there. People go there for advice about life. People go there for the jazz bands that sometimes come over. People go there for buying certain items.
I am going to guess that that is one of the hangout spots for Marina or Aggravate.
Nope. Ironically, the one who hangs around the shop is a canon character, but it's none of the Vanderlins.
Huh. Then meanwhile, Mystic's like, that's your first Orsini. I'm gonna be like, all right, going the other way.
What do you mean going the other way? They're already approaching you at top speeds.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, there's places you can find certain characters, right? Places
Yeah.
that they will usually visit.
Like Persona.
So
Like Persona.
I'll give you some out of character advice on where some of these guys are.
Mhm.
Veronica hangs out in Daniel's club.
Makes sense.
Fair enough.
We'll need to go talk to her, yeah.
Marina hangs out in the park where Salter talked about Pythagoras because she likes bird watching.
Oh,
It's a bit wild that
she
she's
likes
at the
bird
one
watching.
area.
Oh, that's super sweet, Marina. And then we see her turn to her owl form and then just eat like a baby chick, and we're just like, okay, never mind.
Though she's primarily there at night.
Oh shit.
The church, right? The church?
Yeah.
Aggravate
Yeah.
hangs out at the church.
Hell no.
Wait, he hangs out at the church, like the one we read the Red Grave shit.
No, not that church. I'm talking about the main church in the French Quarter.
Guys, don't meet this
Nice.
man.
I'm gonna. I do want to go meet him. I'm sorry.
I kind of want to meet him too. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's not
Good.
meet this man.
You already know where Samuel hangs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Helmut's Trading, we have a character you haven't met yet, so.
That'd be fun. I will go there by myself. Bye, people.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't think I'm gonna join
Hell
you on
yeah,
this journey,
okay.
Henry.
Actually, I'm not Kazuki. never
Last time
mind.
I went on a journey with you, it ended a little bit
few
sour.
more, a few more interesting things. If you talk to Tierra, you will find where certain characters will also be.
I'm having a lot of conversation with him.
Yeah, Thierry is a must conversation.
Start of the session.
By the way,
he's coming.
Thierry combined with the Swan Maiden
Yeah.
will reveal new Redgrave plots. That's why I kind of advise Salter not to focus on the momentum right now, because it's building up.
Okay.
Oh, she's gonna give us. She's gonna give us
Guys,
a
let's
mentor.
skip another act.
Got you. No,
Let's go to Act 4.
Mystic. You know what? Question. This is like a joke thing to imagine. Salter's like, I'm looking for a memento that's connected to the Red Graves, and the Swan Maiden just reaches down and just like gives Eleanor her underwear, and she's like, oh yeah, these were Paul gave me these back in the day, and then this is like the look.
You know, Eleanor wouldn't care at that point. It's just
Speaking of which,
as long as it
you guys
works.
don't have any mementos of Paul either. So Paul,
Yeah.
Martin, you guys don't.
I mean, well,
have.
he's alive in front of us right now. So let's hope we don't need
Alive?
a memento.
You really
You
consider
won't
that
need
alive?
a memento for Paul because he's gonna express his heart to you.
Guys, let's keep Paul alive. Let's change him back.
Okay, let's undo all of this fucking mental
Hey, don't worry,
trauma
bro.
and conditioning.
No.
Yeah.
Sai.
By the way,
You don't understand.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
possible.
The reason why he disappeared is he's been traveling in the fear realm for quite a while.
I see.
Yeah, I always knew the
He's been
fear realm would be
trapped
in
the realm
Texas.
of nightmares for many years.
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 Yeah, years.
All right.
Wait, bro, did he take? Did he take?
Nah.
Guys, we can still save him.
Don't worry,
We
we
can.
can win. We just have to
All right,
sacrifice
I
somebody.
have a-
It'll
I
come.
have a
It'll
great-
come down eventually when we get to a certain point.
And I'll tell
You know
flag
what?
magic.
You know what, Hugo? Listen, Hugo, I have a great idea. You want to hear it? We use Infernal. Just joking.
Actually, it might work.
No, I was joking.
Oh, unfriendly someone
There-
who?
There's
What are
a
you talking about?
variable
On
that
Paul.
can work. Nah.
Oh my god, you're gonna eat Paul.
I'm gonna do
Eat
worse.
Paul?
No. You
Wait,
misunderstand.
wait.
You misunderstand the real plan.
When it comes to factions, right? remember, New Orleans does not have an Arcanum, but Natalie is familiar with the remnants of the previous Arcanum. If you put the events together, it should be pretty obvious what happened because John literally explained it to you. You knew from Natalie in session 8 that she explained that the Arcanum in New Orleans, the secret society of sorcerers, the building was completely obliterated after the Redgrave family attacked it.
Yeah.
Right?
But that
And
doesn't
then
mean
later
all the
you
members
learned
are
from
dead.
Uncle John during the right before the Vanderlyn thing, where he explained when you guys asked him about Ophelia. He explained that he hunted her down and church members, the last church members in New Orleans, teamed up with him, and they were the ones who together destroyed the Arcanum house.
Yeah, we know what happened. You used your favorite infernalism powers.
Hey, it's a letter from the Pope. What do you mean business?
Oh God.
They would rather pull out their weapons and be like, "How did you get your hands on a letter from the Vatican archive?
Because
You stole it."
Oh shit!
You know,
it was
let's get really.
in the red briefs, and I pull out my.
You know, let's get wait. No, I
ID.
have a great idea. I have a great
Four.
idea.
Never
So
mind.
we contact Bethel, and he's supposedly Christ, right? So what we do
Hey,
is
about
we,
Bethel, we'll get
we
to
get
Bethel in a moment. Actually,
we-
we'll talk about Bethel in a moment because the Terracochi knows why that's implausible right now.
It's bad.
Well,
But-
anyway, I have one more question. For the VCA, we got fake identities, right? Did we also get fake IDs as well?
Those identities were registered by Thierry. He made them pretty airtight,
Uh-huh.
but they were only ever going to be temporary because
Oh,
if
okay.
it put under any scrutiny, it is going to fall apart.
Okay.
Because you
Yeah.
have to do it on such short notice.
Yeah.
Had you guys planned the VCA
Okay,
longer,
can you make fake IDs then?
he knows somebody who can.
Okay,
and you
good.
can talk to that person too.
Hell yeah.
And the person who makes the IDs
Uh-huh.
is the same person who owns the gun store.
Oh hell yeah!
Ooh, that's good.
Fake ID,
Nice.
boys. Come on. we
Time for
can
the family
stay
journey.
free from the red grave curse.
What do
We're
you
not
mean,
red
bro?
graves. What are you talking
Don't
The
say it.
OG Red Graves are all dead, remember? We're all dead.
Ah.
We are true Red Graves. We're already dead.
Okay, when I level up my confidence in
Oh, yeah.
Helmut's trading, can I wait, Helmut's the Hercules trading?
I don't know what
Can
you're talking
I
about. I'm the only one who knows that
change that
location. Okay,
name?
bye.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yes, actually, I actually have a question about the Blade of Sacrilege. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
You mean the thing that we're
The
gonna
Blade
get
of
to play?
Sacrilege. What would have happened is the first two questions on that. If I had won the Beam Clash, what would have happened?
If you won the beam clash, the Monarch would have attacked you, and things would have probably gone a different way.
That's terrible to hear, but that's kind of funny.
If you won the beam clash, the Monarch would have interfered, and he would have personally sealed you by using your true name.
All right.
So you would have lost access to your war form again.
Great.
You
Um,
would
you know-
have gotten the feeling what Marina
You know
went
what?
through.
I
will
am just
say
happy
this,
that we
though.
got-
I
Yeah.
will say this though. The movements of the monarchs, the movement of certain things going on in the city are part of a bigger scheme, obviously. But who's in control here and who's manipulating behind the scenes is very hard to follow. That's because it's unclear right now. But once you see the bigger picture, you're gonna realize that this is some big brain, ultra giga chat.
whenever you say bigger, whenever Mystic says bigger picture, I really like to imagine he's just gonna pull out like a picture of himself and just put it on the screen. Like, you see, this is who's pulling the strings. It's me, guys. And we're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
know
haven't
Mystic.
caught on,
You're-
I see.
By the way, when we went to the fucking other dimension in the clash, did Dimitri see that as well?
Interesting question. I'm not sure if I can answer that, but you were fighting in the Shadowlands, and you saw his character
Yay.
profile. You saw his character profile,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that should answer your question.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
He
He has
probably
no
was
problem
watching.
appearing into the Shadowlands.
Nice.
so my second question is, so the Sword of Sacrilege, the Blade of Sacrilege. So I'm asking this. I already had the thought, if I had tried to like wield it as a weapon, it wouldn't have done anything, right? Because it's just an extent. It would have just been like trying to use one of my
the Blade of
fangs.
Sacrilege is important because of what it is, not what it can do.
Okay, got you. I was
It
wondering who
seems
actually.
to be part of grasping the Red Grave heritage. You know how the Red Graves are able to enter into their chest cavity, that weird thing?
Yeah.
That is a part of the process that belongs to true Red Graves. In fact, I don't think you need to be a fucking rocket scientist to understand that when Uncle John pulled out Lysander's heart, That was one of the items he had in his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the other two items you found on his body likely came from his chest too. It was Ophelia's jade pendant, and then there was that weird silver flute.
Oh, is
Yeah, it really does seem like you guys are just built like like you guys are really just built for a purpose. It's like a predetermined balance of the world kind of thing, like someone who's forced to intervene, like a guardian angel, you know?
The true purpose of what those things are, why they're relevant, that is for later, much later. But the fact that you were able to find out about it this soon speaks to the surprising nature of players. Ezzy again with his fierce instinct,
Yeah, and
grasping hold of that opportunity.
yeah,
That was pretty good.
I fucked that one actually.
As
Oh,
for
yeah.
the blade of sacrilege, when it comes to using it, yeah, like I said, it's not something meant to be used as a weapon. It's quite fragile. It's like glass made of light. But its representation, what it is a manifestation of, is quite potent. Because it represents, true to its name, sacrilege. It is the malignant energy of the Eater of Storms, the Storm Eater. One of the, yeah, I think it's canonically one of the most powerful
It
beings
is
that has
no,
ever
it
manifested
is the most powerful.
on the world, even if it was a shadow of it. Combine that with the fact that you have Vanderlyn heritage and an imbued's cleave, their light, which is literally their virtues manifested. That is what created the Blade of Sacrilege.
Okay.
But you must
And
remember this. One thing you must know about all items that go into a Redgrave body, they all share the concept of evanescence. They are impermanent. They're not meant to be used as weapons and things like that, but they have a greater purpose. Perhaps that might be what makes one a true Redgrave.
Perhaps.
it's ephemeral existence. Yeah, probably. Just like an asphodel. They
Hey, Henry, can I
bloom.
ask you a question? The coins you and Tony collected, what did you do with it?
We
them.
used them.
Not all of them.
No,
Not all of them. There's still 10 left. I think I still have 10.
You don't
Right?
have the
Okay, so-
10. They're still at the place, which is why I was telling you you could go back and get them.
Okay, then we'll go back. Okay, I will go back and I'll get
Ironically,
them.
My plan before Nora suggested the thing was I was going to use the 10 coins on you and see what it would do.
I
But that's
don't want
assuming
to
you still have the
imagine
pendant.
that.
I
I
would
don't
have
even
used to
want to.
practice against you, I'll be honest.
I don't even want to imagine what those 10 coins would have done to me.
It would have been a fun sight for Eleanor, I'll be honest. Or it wouldn't have worked and I would have been violated either way.
What am I thinking of? I had one other question. Let me think.
Wait, look, I have a question.
Okay, yeah, you go.
Okay, so it just came into my mind. So basically, during the Arthur Moon supplement, he was low-key like yapping about like psychic phenomenon, whatever. And I don't know the exact line, but he said something along the lines of like psychics or a medium for magic or whatever. And I do have a question about that. So if it is true, then does that mean at a level a person with psychic abilities can control, like, how do I say it?
Reality.
Kind of like that, like concepts of reality.
So here's the thing, my boy. Obviously, that was a character who doesn't know about magic trying to explain it. But in the meta plot, all forms of magic have to do with something called will working. You see that stat willpower?
Mhm.
A character who is part of the mage world, is able to enact their will upon reality. That's what magic is. And there's different types of magic, obviously, but they mainly differentiate between two. There are the ritual hedge mages. They are people who create like a formula that interacts with the laws of the world to manifest the phenomena. But it's interacting with the laws of the world, not breaking them. Whereas a mage is somebody who forcibly alters reality around them with their magic. That is why a mage is 10 times more dangerous than a hedge mage, because their power will change the very fabric of reality. They are reality benders. However, The world has a certain way it's supposed to be, or the way it is perceived by other people, and this is what's referred to as consensus. When you as a mage use your magic, you are enacting your will to change reality, but reality will work against you as well, and consensus will attack you. And this is what paradox is. Paradox accumulates it is the clapback essentially of reality working against you for breaking its laws. There's two types of true magic. There is vulgar magic, and then there's coincidental magic. Coincidental is if there are no witnesses. Human beings, normal people who have common sense. This is what we call common sense. When they see somebody lift a car with their mind, with magic, they think that doesn't make sense. That is what turns your magic vulgar. It's because there are witnesses of consensus, people with common sense, who are like, wait, that shouldn't make sense. And they're going to work against you. So when you roll for your magic in a situation where a normal person is looking at you, right? You will roll with a higher difficulty because it's vulgar magic. It goes against consensus. And there are people there who can attest to it being nonsensical. But if you're able to play off your magic to make it make sense, for example, you use your magic to combust an engine of a car and make it blow up. A car can blow up, that makes sense. As long as they don't know that it was magic that caused the car to blow up, that can slide. So that's called coincidental. You can pass it off, even if you're in a crowd. But it's still dangerous to work in a crowd because whether they see it or not, consensus is still working against you. So a mage works best when they don't have normal people around them. And before you ask, supernaturals also have a consensus amongst them, though it is a bit more difficult to define how those relationships go about and whether it be vulgar or coincidental for them. In most of the cases, it counts as coincidental, but that's not always the case. As for the hedge mages, that's what Salter is. He's a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Those are people who are essentially using their magic to affect reality but not overcome it or break it. It's weaker in the grand scheme of things, but it's more controlled and it can be more concise. There are plus and negatives for both sides. Whereas psychics are somewhere in between. It's never confirmed, but psychics are part of the Sorcerer Handbook, and they explain that a psychic phenomena is will working. So Michael Redgrave proposed a theory in character that psychics, what makes them different from sorcerers or mages, is that they are not aware that they are naturally doing will working. That's because their brain has fundamentally altered because of their own will. So a psychic phenomena is not something you can turn off. It's not something you have a grasp over. It's not as fluid as magic, but it doesn't require the mathematical formulas of a hedge mage, and it doesn't break reality either. So the most cost effective is psychic power, but psychic power cannot grow in the same way that hedge sorcery can, or do crazy reality bending effects like magic. So each has their benefits and negatives. This is the meta plot I'm explaining to you. But again, these guys don't really understand it because a character who has limited knowledge is explaining it from their perspective. That's something you have to take away from this.
Mhm.
Am I making sense?
That's why I said if true, but okay, yeah.
Ezzy, I see you have two questions. Can you type them out so we can get this done? In the meantime, while he's doing that, anybody else got anything to say?
I'm good.
You know what? Question.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, right, you're there. You go
Oh,
first.
okay.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you, bro.
We hear you, but you might not be able to hear us.
Yeah.
Check your mic settings.
Wait, hello?
I'm
Can somebody type it out for him?
All right, there we go. I get yourself.
Awesome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, your questions, buddy.
Yeah, the more long shots in the more long shots in the dark I've been curious about. Two, actually, yeah, two. This one came up because you mentioned whole Vanderland Estates as rituals. I feel like you mentioned this before, but if you were to place them on a map, how would that go out to look?
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. I think you should try that in campaign.
Yeah, of course. I already, the moment I thought of the idea, I already figured. And then two, if humankind cannot gain anything in return without first giving something in return, as we do with the vows, how, on a scale or percentage, is the actual Redgrave power close to alchemy?
Ooh, alchemy. Okay. Well, okay. I think it should be less that it is
No,
like
I'm saying
alchemy and more
alchemy
like
because
alchemy.
this is what I know.
No,
So
no, no, no.
it might,
I'll explain it. I'll explain it to you. So it's less like it's similar to alchemy in the sense of equivalent exchange, and more like alchemy adheres to the same principles as the Redgrave power. You'll notice that all forms of magic, whether it be true magic, hedge magic, psychic power, all of this other stuff, they all follow the law of equivalent exchange. You have to give something to get something. But in the degree of what that exchange is, in what percentage, depends. Mages give a lot to get a lot. So it's high risk, high reward. Whereas for hedge mages, for the most part, it's low risk, high reward. It can be. If you're an infernalist, it is high risk, high reward, terrible consequence, perhaps. Right?
of course.
Redgrave is a more stable power. I cannot reveal yet in what line, whether it be mage, wraith, whatever, the Redgrave power fits under, because that would be a spoiler. But the Redgrave power is extremely stable because Redgraves have existed for a very long time, and because of that, their power has developed for a very long time. And in much the same way, you are right. Just like any other power, there is equivalent exchange. You have to give something to get something. The problem is you aren't exactly sure because you haven't seen anybody use proper Redgrave power, not even Uncle John. The power of evanescence. You haven't seen what it does. Technically, you've seen monarchs use them, but you don't know what price they're offering. And I don't think that's a good scale of comparison.
Yeah, that's like asking like the level 99 mage how much mana they spend when you can't even cast Fireball.
Exactly. It's like that's not a good precedent. And technically, the monarchs have already paid a great price. That's why they're monarchs. Being a monarch's not a good thing, I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much.
You know,
And
it sounds like
monarchs, I will confirm to you out of character, monarchs are not the strongest redgraves. They're not the most important redgraves, and they're not the only type of redgrave you can meet.
the guild master, right? Himself is a Redgrave.
The guildmaster obviously is important, but there are multiple positions. You have the guildmaster, you have the monarchs, but there are other people too. For example, you have the arbiters.
Do we have a janitor?
You.
Well,
Maybe.
after a little half exception, something tells me we don't.
Yeah, you got a point. You know what would be really funny? Johannes, after
here's
your
the thing.
failure.
Besides that, you have the forgers.
Mhm.
I think those are pretty obvious. But
Yeah.
again, the Redgrave Society, I say society because it is a society, is something extremely important, something extremely relevant, something you'll experience later.
They're the
But
mothers,
do
they're
not
the
get
enemies
tunnel
of
vision
grandma.
because the monarchs are not the only ones that you are going to meet. The true extent of how involved the Redgraves are, you're going to get a taste of in Case 3. Because with the introduction of the Swan Maiden, she'll give you a certain perspective. If you meet certain characters, I think you guys should try befriending a mage of some sort, somebody in the know. One of the characters you can meet in Case 3 is a
You know who
mage.
we should meet? Heinrich, because you know
And
what? He
getting-
seems like a real upstanding guy.
Heinrich is also a possibility, but he's not likely to appear until something important happens. But there are mages that you can befriend because they're going to come all out of the woodworks in Case 3. And it's good to befriend some of these people because you need to understand the perspective that these particular character types have of you and if they know something about you. And piecing together the fragments will get you closer to understanding what Redgrave power is. By the way, in terms of as a Redgrave, you are ahead of everybody else because you have the Blade of Sacrilege in your chest.
Ooh, sacrilege in a holy body. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Come all ye faithful.
Again, that's not something you pull out. It's not a weapon. That is a
No,
part of your
clearly
body
not.
right now. To pull it out
Yeah.
hurts like a motherfucker. It's like pulling out your
Yeah,
organ.
clear.
Yeah.
Make it really funny, Mystic. You're oh yeah, you think that magic trick is impressive? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Just ripped it off his chest at like a party.
By
Look
the
at
way,
this,
Ez,
kids.
we couldn't get you earlier, but I would still like to hear as the closing, for this segment. I would still like to hear your feedback that you didn't manage to give us earlier.
Oh,
Wait, hold on. The three questions are very simple. What did you think of the flow of the story? What did you think of individual character performances? And do you have something to say to me as the DM?
the flow of the story. Yeah, again, I think it could have been a little bit faster, but as you mentioned, the character was scene efficiency could have been a little bit more on point. I know there's parts where I was droning on personally. What was the second question?
Individual character performances. What did you think of the other players here? playing
Oh,
with?
um, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but I feel like Salter was trying too hard to find something. I feel like certain things are kind of droning on in that sense. But other than that, I don't really have. Well, aside from Adele, just being there, I guess. But I don't really have any other impactful things to say about other character performance. Hugo obviously did pretty good. Henry slowly finding his way. I don't really have anything bad for the most part to say about them. And then for the storyteller, I know we squandered certain things in terms of other fellow character interactions, but I feel like we're also given not much character interaction. Now, of course, we have other players at hand, so we can't just sit and sideline everybody else for two characters, as you had mentioned before, with Sulker and his solo scenes. But I feel like there's a bit of impatience there. It comes from the sense of as Tony, I can't really do too much. Speaking from specifically Tony's standpoint, I can do too much. But other than that, I don't. I'm gonna take the last two, no, two maybe three sessions with a grain of salt because there's some outer personal things hitting that a little extra hard for me personally. So I'm not really gonna mention anything about the LaVCA. I'm not really. Yeah, my thoughts are already set in chat. I just should have never showed up, and I should have actually done what I should have done, realistically. So I'm not gonna put that on you. It was my fault for attending, or showing up for the most part. That's the only thing I got about that, really. Like, I think case 2 was pretty fun. Case 1, I still was trying to figure out. Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'm gonna be honest with you, obviously. But case 2, yeah, you got a grass locked in and figured the hell out. Started off strong with 0.5, or I'm sorry, not 0.5, side session. But I don't want to go too much. There's some other stuff I'm kind of mulling over a little bit. I gotta go look back at a few points in a few sessions and try to remember a few things.
When it comes to the character things, I do agree with you. Because of the sort of urgency, I feel like because so many things came in between, we had to rush character interactions in order to get our objective done. So I will admit that comes from both sides. But
It does.
I will say this.
It really does.
Yeah. So right now, I want you guys to focus because in these side sessions, I don't decide what you do. So if you want to do something, inform me before we start the side sessions of what it is you're interested in doing. And then in the side sessions, you will be able to pursue all of your personal interests, try to find loose ends, that kind of thing. Really to slow down the pace, you know?
Yeah. I think you already talked about at least two of the things for the most part.
I think so, yeah. Oh, by the way, I will say one thing. When it comes to the LaVCA, again, Yeah, we all have our moments, our slip ups. For me, that wasn't the highlight for me, though it was kind of funny. For me,
Yeah, I
I'm
do
more
agree. It was
curious.
kind of funny. It was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely. I really should have just gone with what I had to do, what the stuff I had to do in real life instead of actually attending the session.
Good that you were
Yeah.
there because we needed you for the fear trial,
Uh,
obviously.
oh, oh, yeah, we got that done in the same night.
What did you think of your fear trial? I can
Uh,
understand
no, I
it
told
was.
Mark this. I'm gonna be outright. It was unfulfilling for the most part. I figured there was more. That's why, yeah, as you said, the fear child thing or whatever felt a little out of character because I'm like, first and foremost, it's half in character, half out of character because one out of character. I saw the whole thing with Adele. I saw the whole thing with Carl, and I'm like, oh man, this is pretty cool, you know. And I already told. Did I tell Soldier this? No, I don't think I did.
Probably
No,
not.
sorry, not Soldier. Mort. No, it was Mark. I feel like Mort kind of jumped the gun on his thing. We probably could have seen a little bit more. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Um, so I felt like that was kind of jumped the gun in the initial thing. I told Mark that, or did I? Yeah, I should have.
Yeah, you did, and I agreed with you. I agreed with you. You said that my
Yeah. But
emotion behind it was right, and I agreed with you. But I said I should have waited. I agreed.
yeah. And then the thing with Salters is he spent so much building up trying to do his own thing, and then still following the same path. And then I'm just like, oh well, yeah, he fell into the same thing. And then yeah, I thought there was gonna be a little more thematics behind mine. For me, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I missed some things. Maybe I wasn't actually looking at it because I was really salty about. I'll talk to you later about the outside life thing if you want. That the
Yeah, no,
out of
I
character
understand. I
in real
understand.
life.
I will say
Yeah.
this.
Because
You know,
there's
when
one
you're
thing I
ready.
did really. No, hang on, real quick. There's one thing I really screwed up in my personal life by actually attending these sessions. So I am saying this with a spoonful of salt for the most part. Also, no, that's also why I have been attending any calls because I've been dirty busy with work. I got a guy on vacation, and someone else is on medical leave, so I'm getting screwed. Um, yeah, no, for mine, that there was little thematics, as I said. Maybe I missed some stuff, but it felt like I was just hot dropped in a warehouse. Three of the characters were there. Well, two then three of the characters were there, and Tony at this point in the story, he's like, I've come to terms with the death of my own family. I've come to terms with the fact that families gonna die left and right. Am I gonna grieve their deaths? Yes. I'm gonna grieve later, survive now. I'm gonna live here. And then of course seeing Uncle John, he did apologize for the whole head thing. And to him it's just like, why am I seeing this? So out of character, I was thinking, oh, maybe there's a bit more to it. So while in character, Tony's thinking like, well, why am I seeing this? What am I looking at here? Out of character, I'm thinking like, okay, I guess there's probably a little more to this, I guess.
I think much
And
like
like,
Mork, you did kind of jump the gun on yours as well,
yeah,
because
no,
yours
because
was a reverse.
at the same time, I got no, not even that. I gave you Tony's fears, and he just didn't feel like it was being played on that. That's the thing. And then a little after did kind of bug me a little bit that you're just like, oh yeah, but did it on the player character side, not the characters themselves, is what it felt like. So Loki felt like a little bit of a waste of my time. I still could have done what I needed to do, and then jumped in later, and then bam.
I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it. I mean,
Yeah,
when
because
you combine all
I'm
these
be real with you.
factors,
I don't care. Hang on, sorry to interrupt you again. I don't care if I waste my own time. You guys know this already, but in those 2 days, I didn't waste just my time. I wasted somebody else's time who has a lot more important things to do than I do. So that's what I'm saying. There's a little extra spoonful of salt in there.
it's fine. It's fine. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's better to be honest than keep bottling this shit down. Yeah, like I said, if you're dissatisfied, I understand. You know, one of the problems that kind of the fair trials bring is that they are as much of a player character thing. Much of an in character thing. They're also a player character thing because at the end of the day, I had to play on your fears. And the best way to get on into the character's skin is to get under the skin of the person who plays the character, right? Because that's where the genuine emotions come from. And your trial was designed to be rather insidious, not for the sake of spite or anything, but because you did give me your fears, yes. And the whole point of the fear trial was to subvert your expectations. I think you can ask anybody here. None of them really expected their fear trial to be the way it was. And that is in part by design, because I've kind of tired of the trope, the persona trope of just facing yourself. I don't think it's that simple. So I wanted something of very, very personal. That wasn't just you talking to another version of yourself or you talking to this. It was really handcrafted for each player specifically. And one problem that your character has, and I don't know if you've noticed this, which is why I said that would take some time to digest. Because if you look at it, your character's always been rather suspicious about good things happening to you. That's because you've become so used to bad things happening to you that you have become afraid of the good things and your unwillingness to accept them. We've kind of seen that in your character as well. When
Oh,
it comes
100%,
to
yeah.
yeah. So for me it was the best way for the boogeyman to do this to you is because you're also the headstrong character. If I had thrown a trial like Henry's, for example, you would have powered through that because that's what your character's about. It's about powering through things. You would have loved attacking yourself. You would have loved beating down yourself. You would have loved doing that. That's why the boogeyman did the exact opposite. He brought you a chance to talk to your family and to break your spirit by forgiveness. Because you as a person have been pursuing and kind of blaming yourself, right? You took responsibility back when the fear first happened. Remember your conversation with Uncle John under the bed?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I kind of took this from. That's why I picked this fear trial. That part for me was the most important because you acknowledge that you did that. You acknowledge and you kind of pelted out your heart's feelings that you do blame yourself. You accept responsibility for it and you know that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life, but you're willing to continue. And that's where I had that thought in my mind that the most cruel thing to do to somebody in a situation like that is to give them what they want, but you know that they can't accept it because it's not the right time, right?
Yeah, I could see it.
So that's where your fair trial comes from. And I needed you to go later because out of character, I needed you to get into the mindset of what the others were getting through. So you had to be the second one at the very least. You were never going to go first. Because in order for my trick to work, you had to have seen somebody else's fear trial.
Yeah, I believe
And
it still would have. Honestly, I'm cute buck with you. It still would have happened the same way.
I'd like to think so too. I
No,
like to
that's
think
the
it would have
thing. That's the
probably
thing.
been.
Is already. Yeah, like I said, as you said, if you know Tony, you would know what answer. Then yeah, I still would have made the same answer. I still would have made the whole, droning on, if you will. It still would have happened either way because I'm over here just thinking like, one, it's already been hyping up. I figured there was gonna be a lot more to it, but there just wasn't.
You notice how that in and of itself, the simplicity of what it is you had to do, kind of fits Tony as well.
It does, yeah. But I just expected overall a lot more from it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Mm.
The conclusion of the fear trials will have certain things, which is why I didn't include them in the session. They're for the next case, so we'll see how that
Yeah, of
goes.
course.
But
Yeah, and as I told Mark, overall, field trials just unfulfilling for the most part. I am curious on to see what's gonna happen afterwards, on how we're gonna, what overall is gonna happen. The fact that so much of us be realistically, whether it's a half or not, it's still a fail for the most part. So I am curious and interested on how that's going to affect us.
Right. I hope you aren't too demotivated to see kind of what's gonna come in the future because it's a character moment.
Honestly, Loki. Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but yeah, there's a bit of a bummer on my end for playing for the most part. But yeah, other than that, I'm still gonna play. I'm still gonna have fun. So it is what it is. All the things that happen were player character actions. I'm just gonna play them. So
Good mentality to have. I'm sorry to hear that it wasn't that good.
no, I'm saying in terms of the bummer part is the whole the VCA thing. I am actually. Yeah, it is personally. I am actually kind of like really upset at myself overall because, as I mentioned before, it's not just in the sense of waste of my time, just waste of someone else's time. And seeing how the session played out, and just seeing like how like I really just should have said no, but I still said yes.
No, don't get me wrong. I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
So it sucks, but yeah, as I said, I was sleeping half the time. Like honestly, I I was probably there
Yeah.
for like what like 20-30% of the session. And then anytime I
Well,
woke
it
up, it was
happened
just
with
straight
previous episodes.
retardation. Yeah, no, every time I woke up, it was like just straight retardation. Like I really wanted to be there for Adele scene, even if it was crying. You gotta make jokes about it. It was still about crying. But I really did want to be there for the Adele scene. I really wanted to be there for the fight and just the other little small interactions. And that just didn't happen, and it turned into retardation. But that's not a thing on you. Just that was a thing on me.
Well, don't be too demotivated. Again, like I said, you'll have your chance
No,
pretty
yeah, no, I'm
soon.
not. I'm
Actually.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. You'll have your chance pretty soon. I mean, case 3 starts with the Uncle Paul thing. I'm curious to see how you guys solve this. I'm actually very curious because this is the last of the Red Graves. What are we gonna do?
Save this
Yeah.
man.
So I'm curious to see
Never
how you
lost.
handle this, and I want to see that group interaction. You just came out of your fear trial. It must feel like shit, just in character. So I wonder, how exactly this interaction is gonna go. Because I haven't written an ending for this, by the way. You guys will choose for yourself how Uncle Paul gets dealt with. Your choices are what's gonna change the outcome here. So there's no static ending here. So it's up to you. But until then, we'll have the side sessions. I don't think I've probably explained this, so let me do it right now at the end segment here. These side sessions will take place sequentially a month after the Lavisia. So session 1 is 1 month, session 2, 2 months, and so on. That means that chronologically, we haven't dealt with Uncle Paul yet, but in the side sessions, we're already past that. So I want you not to mention anything about Paul, and there's 2 characters that we can't talk about yet: the Swan Maiden and Grace. Other than those 3 important things, oh, and the painting, obviously. You have the painting. Obviously, you're gonna have the painting. But the true meaning and stuff, we're gonna do that in case 3. So for now, it's really just gonna be okay. We're not gonna think about that hard stuff. Let's just do what we want to do, right? And for reference, we are starting next weekend with the sessions. Time went by pretty fast. Um,
Hey, by the way, Loki, salty that this wasn't actually a break. It was just the intermediary, just so we could listen to more World of Darkness stuff.
yeah. One of the reasons is I had a fear that if we stayed too long, we'd disassociate and it'd end up like COC. So
Deadass.
it was the
No,
perfect
I'm
time to
making a
just
joke. I mean, I know why you did it, but I'm just making a joke. I was actually salty the first time because I'm like, ain't no way.
I'm gonna be real with you, Mystic. It hasn't felt like a break. In fact, it has been even more monotonous.
No, I'm keeping a buck with you. I told you guys I was busy. Like, if we would have known this a lot sooner, I don't know if you mentioned something or not. Maybe I missed it. But I told Mork this earlier. I may
Yeah.
have been Paul, but my phone was off to the side while I was doing what I needed to do. But I did go back and listen to it.
Yeah, he did. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's
I'm gonna be honest. It was also saltiness on my end because I didn't know. I thought to myself that the reason why you were avoiding calls is because we're gonna make fun of you for the LaVCA
no,
thing.
Dad. I told you that.
No, I don't care, bro. I'm already looking at templates. By the way, at my gallery, I'm thinking like, hey, this would be a funny the VCA moment.
Meme, yeah.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
But
no,
listen,
Ez,
man, next time, even if it's only one, like just give me a heads up, like, hey, you're going through some stuff, so that I know.
So Ezzy,
Yeah. But at the same
I
time,
want
like,
you to know.
I think we all shared the sense of impatientness of just we need to get this done, bro. Just get this out the way already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, but yeah.
But the funny part is, or when we came to the call earlier, they literally were like, oh yeah, Ez is like avoiding call because I was like, no, I've been in call with Ez. He's literally just been busy. Like I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Yeah.
It's kind of good that we had that
Hey,
break.
real
when we
quick,
did.
I even sent a picture. I don't know if you sent it. I sent a picture of Terracotta that I was in the shower, bro.
Oh yeah, I saw it on the
Yeah.
screen. The thumbs
Like,
up.
yeah. Bruh, it was like I said, like I was just like, bruh, out of everyone who would get down over something like that, I was like, they wouldn't be Ez. Like I'm serious. I'm like,
Yeah. I'm also gonna say one thing is, what has been my motto every time we played any kind of
in
campaign?
character actions, in character actions.
Exactly. So it's
If you
like,
do it, you got to stick with it.
no,
And ironically,
there is saltiness. Hang on. There is saltiness because the entire VCA thing. I'm gonna keep it a buck 50 for the first small beginning portion, like when I shoved the whole thing and everything. That was in character. Everything after, I'm just like, I'm genuinely salty about that. I ain't gonna hold you. I am salty about that. It hits
don't
a
worry,
little
man.
harder knowing the
You got to
fact that
face the L and
it
you
hits harder. It hits harder knowing the fact that I wasted someone else's time to attend that and do all that. So
All
it was
right.
like,
Well, I think that concludes everything. Does anybody have any final questions?
Nah, I'm good.
Actually, I do have one. So my question is, all right, if Tony had not put in the blade of sacrilege, would so this is a weird question to you. Actually, yeah, it's kind of you. Has Tony gotten weak? Has his connection with his messenger gotten worse because of the blade
hey,
of
I was actually gonna
sacrilege?
ask about that. I was gonna ask about that. Ironically enough,
So there is some precedent for that. To be fair, yes.
100%, yeah.
It's not communication in that sense, but rather, well, okay, hold on. No, I'm saying it wrong. Your powers work fine, but the actual messenger's ability to communicate with you is becoming harder.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, same here actually.
It's because obviously you're starting on the Redgrave path, and that path diverges from the path of the imbued.
Yeah.
There's actually a funny relationship. This is story time for later, but there's a funny relationship between the imbued and the Redgraves that I think is particularly relevant, and I think you'll soon see. I think you guys seen the images I've sent in session images.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
those
keep
are
that
pretty
out there.
important. We'll deal with that after I'm done here. But essentially, I think this has all been pretty successful. We got mostly everybody. Neath, well, we can't do anything about Neath, fortunately. I don't know if any of you want to pursue Neath, but honestly, I'm losing hope again. So
No, I keep
we'll have to
asking
wait and
about
see
something
on
like this. He is
Hope has
interested in playing,
perished.
but it seems like every single time there's some type of family event. There's some type of this.
Yeah.
I told her this from the get go.
I'm not.
I legitimately told her this from the get go. I don't think you should join because you always have something popping up every other week.
I agree.
It's certain,
I let her in because she when she talked to me, she sounded so desperate that I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
I feel bad. I'll bring her in as a character that I know that I can play. So we had no issues on the roleplay front, but on the player front, it is rather bad. Like I said, I don't have anything negative against Neath. It's just that this
She doesn't
lack
have the
of
time for
He's
it.
a bit too busy.
Yeah.
yeah, but I feel like that's unfair to say too busy because we all have shit to do and we still
Yeah.
try our
Yeah.
best to make it. And
Yeah.
especially disheartened.
Yeah.
If she can't make it for a double, that's fine. We know she can't play on Sunday,
Yeah.
but on a Saturday you should be able to be there. Now,
And
granted,
on a day
in the
that
last
where we
in the
kind
last
of
three
scheduled it
sessions
for
when
her.
we had the triple,
Yeah.
I fully understood she couldn't make it for Saturday. I fully understood we weren't going to get her for Sunday, even though I didn't know at the
Yeah.
time we were going to play a triple. But Friday, the day that she asked for, should be no matter what the day that she showed up, because we all
Yeah.
had to rush a bunch of bullshit to be able to play on Friday.
Then a last minute cancel happened, and it's just
I got off work only
that
to
shit
have to go
upset
back
me.
to work in a few hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was particularly bad. I don't regret us playing the session, but the reason we played on Friday was literally for Neath. So
Yeah.
the excuse of not being there, I
Bro,
feel, is very weak.
That
I
was
could have
just
got more
cool.
sleep and been alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
For the
agree.
working
I
I would have had
agree.
more
day.
shit done too.
In the future, we're gonna be more careful. Like I
Mhm.
said, we have a session next weekend, so we should all
My-
get in order. But
So-
it'll be fun because again, it's a session you guys decide for yourselves.
Yeah.
So pure interaction with yourself.
I
Hey, can I start off with a family speech?
Hold on, we'll get to that.
I think
but
we're gonna have
eventually-
to fight, Uncle Paul first before we do anything else.
Yeah, no. That's for the start of case 3.
Yeah, remember it.
Case 3. Okay.
so I was gonna say,
Uncle Paul's being
Mystic.
a
I
low
have
key
two.
bum.
I have two
Yeah.
more questions, but I think I should ask that after the Q&A is finished. Don't really matter.
Just go ahead, bro.
So number 2. Ez reminded me. I had a idea, and his alchemy thing reminded me about it, of the red graves. So I believe that the Vanderlands their process is based off of the process of Hermeticism. So the vessel is below while the other realms are above, in the sense of the constant, as opposed to an equivalent exchange, it's a reflection of what is met, right? So as they stack these realms on top of each other, it's intensification of that connection, making them a powerful being that exists in all of those sorts of realms at one point. As such, in that solidarity, they're something like a god. They're a unique being that has complete awareness of those. In fact, that's why I think they're hard to kill, because there's a version of them in each realm. Unless you kill all of them in one go while the others are recovering, they'll just eventually reincarnate, right?
I can't answer that question. It'll have to be a theory for now.
Okay. But like, if you could give it a score,
I can't give a score either.
that means
It's-
that means there's a good one. That means there's a good one. Okay, so then for number 2, and this is something that was actually really interesting me.
Oh
So-
my god, I came to a dumb thought.
If like, then you want to say it, or do you want to hold on to it?
Percentage wise. Vanderlands are the keys, and red graves are the key insertions, if you will.
The locks.
Yeah, there we go.
It's possible, but then that wouldn't make sense.
For Armageddon, or
Vanderlands are only
for
100.
the reckoning. For the reckoning.
For the reckoning, yeah, that does make more sense.
So,
Um,
allow me to explain it like this. There is some cosmic event happening. The Red Graves have been involved in this cosmic event for a very long time. And the Red Graves, much to their true nature, have been ensuring that it goes a certain way and it doesn't go out of hand. For some reasons unknown, the Vanderlyn are interested in this very same cosmic event, or rather, I should say, the Orsinis are very much interested in this cosmic event, and in doing so, I have created the Vanderlyns to act as their vanguard to interfere with this event and manipulate it in their own way. You see, the Red Graves, the Vanderlyn, and the Orsini intersect because they all want something out of that cosmic event. Right now,
one is
the Red
Wraith,
Graves
one is
are in a
Mage, and
primary
one is
position
Werewolf.
because they have been involved in that cosmic event for many years. But that event hasn't finished, or it's not complete yet.
And the events of 1999 have made that event wake up properly now. So, this is the final stretch, the home stretch, to see who can enact their will upon this event. And that is what the real battle is between Redgrave's, Vanderlyn, and Orsini's. But you see, this cosmic event has piqued the interest of other factions too, because it is an event that will involve everybody. So, the fairies of America, the mages of America, the vampires of America, all of these have a stake in this cosmic event. At least the big players do. So that's what we're all fighting for. Whatever this event is or what it's about could be the
Claiming.
portents
You
of
know
the
what I
event.
think it is? I think it's claiming the throne of God. I think it's a
Whatever
sponsor.
theories you might have, that is the relationship between all these factions. And the Redgraves are very mysterious in a way because they've been around for so long, they've interacted with multiple factions, but these factions do not understand what it is they are up against, and they all have their own views of the Redgraves. For now, you've only explored the hunter side of Redgraves.
Yeah.
Thierry and Thierry and the Swan Maiden are a key to the other side of the perspective of the Redgraves. When talking about the Vanderlands, they will give you their perspective when it is time to face them. And then other forces like mages, vampires, the people who are in the know will have their perspectives, and you will encounter them in case 3. That is how case 4 becomes a thing. Right?
Yeah.
That is all I have to say about that matter.
Okay. I just want to give a quick reminder. I don't know if this was case 2 specific or not, or case 2 leading into the rest of them. But one of the things, the 2 of the routes, I guess the only 2 routes that Mystic has given us is put us in the center of the spotlight and become the enemy of all, or be the ones that hide underneath to combat everything else we can. Paraphrasing, of course. So
That is one
Where
of
are we
the.
now?
Those are 2 options, yes. But like I said, you have a few ways of going about this. You are your own individuals, of course.
Yeah.
There is, do you agree with the Redgrave's plan for the cosmic event? Or do you have your own intentions for the cosmic event? Or are you so horrified by the cosmic event that you seek to destroy it, or destroy everyone who wants to be a part of this cosmic event? There are many possibilities depending on your character's personal views of this cosmic event when we get to see what it is about.
I'm very excited to learn about this.
Indeed, and it is something very interesting. Now, once again, I will close off this entire thing by saying that this apocalypse scenario is one that includes every single world line. That's why you've seen such a menagerie of characters from all over the world. Because it is that important of an event. I wouldn't say it's the most important event in the world, but as an apocalypse scenario justifies, it is very important. So, that is why so many people are here, so many people from different factions and different ideas and all this other stuff. So, one advice I would give to every single one of you, it is not necessary to play the story, but to get an out of character appreciation for what it is you are dealing with. Again, when I throw random words at you, they aren't thrown randomly. Not all of them, some of them are my originals, of course, but a great majority of them are words that reference specific events and characters in the canon metaplot of World of Darkness. And you don't need this to play the story, of course, but it helps because not only does it stroke my fucking ego that all of this stuff is tied together in a story, but it also gives you as the player a greater appreciation for just how complex and far-reaching the story is, because something relating to every single world line is happening in accordance in this story. Words like Concordia, words like, you know, uh, like the Rosalini, the Giovanni, whatever. These are all important things,
And then
obviously. And
hi
they,
there. I'm here
when
to
you
deliver your
look up and you research, you don't even need the books for this. I made sure that everything I talk about in the campaign can be looked up on the random wiki sites. So if you just go to White Wolf Wiki,
type, I mean, like just type a name in Google with World of Darkness behind it. You'll see a wiki page.
No,
There are a lot of canon characters of World of Darkness in this story. Try to Google names, see if you can find anything. That's for your personal enjoyment as a player.
it's gonna happen. You're gonna get a random pizza delivery, and he's like, "My name is Salat," and then suddenly I'm just like, "No!" And then bro pulls out a flaming sword.
Well, I think the first proper Q&A and feedback session has been a success. With this, I will officially conclude.
All right,
Yay!
everybody.